last we left off, the Zodiacs, after spending the year just doing your own business, conducting your own investigations, and generally relaxing as best you can, doing what you need to do on your own terms, on your own time. The year passes and you all reconvene in the month of Storm, having all gained new boons and new information, which all of you share together. You all board Polaris, your dragon faithful companion, and transport, going to Sant to find Mondo, whomst was found with the use of a scrying eye, walking in a fairly white field of salt. After some difficulty wrangling him in, you managed to convince him to take a look at the Watcher construct, the one that was traded for with Error, who at this point in time hasn't really been responsive to any sort of stimulus other than direct commands. And after a good number of hours, close to a day or two, disassembling the fairly intricate and, according to Mondo, almost exclusively non-magical, purely mechanical being, a black cylinder, about like the size of like a canister of like film, or a foam roll, is thought to be the culprit of what the sort of brain of these constructs are. And after dumping a not insignificant amount of arcanum in it, the little cylinder seems to have mutated in some ways. The magic almost flowing through as text or words, sort of very Matrix style, all over the cylinder, at which point Mondo rebuilds the construct. And seems to have some sort of effect, as the construct has now begun making decisions of its own. Somewhat unresponsive, but at least more acutely aware of its surroundings. After bidding Mondo a very brief and enigmatic goodbye, he disappears into the sands, leaving you alone with the companion you carry with you in Polaris, in a desert in Sant, with a possibly newly born robot.
So, so I have 4 vials of aquamarine left. If we want to dump it in this thing,
you could always Riley dies instantly of a stroke. He's gone. That's the campaign. Ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba. You could always expedite the process. Yeah, I'm fine with that.
I'd rather use it for that than anything else. So.
Okay. Jenna, you're all right with it?
I guess if we're all on board.
I take like 10 steps back.
Okay, I'll dump the remaining vials in there.
How many do you have?
4
Okay.
of aquamarine.
Okay. Sure. It's been slowly somewhat dragging the rest of its body behind it in like almost like a magnetic snake of some sort, as the sphere itself rolls. The rest of the limbs that have just disconnected and at the joints are just slowly bouncing along behind it. And it's not difficult to find it. It makes quite a racket whenever it moves. As you approach, it sort of just stares at you, looks at you as you approach, as you pick it up, find the port at the back, which seems to be some sort of absorption port, some sort of power port. It seems to connect directly into the central nexus of whatever this construct is, according to Mondo. And you pour the 4 remaining vials of aquamarine in it. Just roll a d100. Okay. As you pour it in, you see the light on the front of this construct, the sphere itself. The main body of it, the head, the brain, the eye, everything is contained in this basketball-sized sphere, pouring the 4 remaining dimly glowing blue liquid into the back port of the construct. You see that light flicker on and off very rapidly. It makes some grating sound on the inside, like metal on metal, reminiscent of like nails on a chalkboard. It shuts off. The light goes dark, and it is just a solid metal sphere you have just in your hands.
Can I turn it on? Is there a way to turn it on?
Not that you're aware of. There's no power button on the back, if that's what you're asking.
I'll say order power on.
Just remains dark.
I feel like we're like kids that poured like Mountain Dew into a red like into an Xbox.
The
You pour
electrolytes
coffee.
will certainly help. It has a lick in it. Will boost
Yeah.
performance.
We might have to get something stronger.
That's true. Arcanium is watered down.
Noted.
Where can we get straight Arcanium other than those ruins? You went back there, didn't you, Chris?
Yeah, I didn't go back to those ruins. Like I just went into like the Silverwood and the Fingers area.
Wasn't that place shut off anyway? Or was it just the room with Monty in it? I can't remember.
I think it was just the room with Monty that was closed off from the rest of us, but the rest of the rooms were available. But do you know what? If we're already on our way to find Tannen, what if we found another like base of operations for Silverwind and we kill 2 birds with 1 stone by taking their Arcanium supply? Because I'm sure they're like using straight Arcanium to make the Aquamarine, of course, but we take their Arcanium supply and then we also shut down whatever operations going on, and then we also find Tannen and his bitch.
It's not a bad idea.
Yeah. Could do that, yeah.
I'm not sure where to start with that though, but that's my only idea is where we could find Arcanium. We know who has Arcanium.
Well, yeah, we could, there's a few ways we could go about it. We could... Oh, no, never mind. Intercepting in Hora would only save slaves, which is still good, but not pertinent. Maybe we should just contact him right away?
And what would we tell him?
I'm not sure.
Right now, this thing, like, at least was kind of like in an error state, right? Like, kind of half aware of stuff, can't make full sentences.
Yeah, it was just factually stating things around it, I believe, or just repeating your words in like a very like a Microsoft Sam text-to-speech way.
I'm counting that as a win for now, because I feel like we need the Arcanium before we pump more drugs into this thing. Like, I'm glad we gave it a shot, but I
Yeah.
think we more risk burning it out than...
Maybe that's what happened.
Can we
What-
can we take out those canisters just to see what it did to it?
If you're capable of disassembling the entire thing,
How did he get it in and out just now, Chris?
I put it in the
Did it.
port.
you just poured it directly into like an opening in the back of the whole thing.
I see. Okay, I thought it was like I thought you said like a cylinder that he had and that he put inside of. The thing.
Yes. Originally, that is what Mondo theorized is like the brain, more or less. You poured Arcanium directly on that once before, and then after you put it together, Mondo has told you that little port that you've injected a lot of stuff into before appears to link up to some sort of like system inside of it, which does connect directly to that thing anyway. So it'll more or less accomplish the same thing by using that port.
Let's just put the head in like a bag of rice, and then we can go run our errands.
Maybe it needs a shock to turn on.
Well,
No.
what happened? What happened to Error when Riley shocked it? It was different after, right?
It made like an R2D2 scream and then like went around, but I don't think it was necessarily different.
Okay. Well,
I don't think we should do anything that would hurt this thing under any circumstances if we can avoid it.
Listen, I know our characters wouldn't know this, but I'm gonna be like, my computer's not working. Let me take an electric current to it to see if that fixes things.
that's what, because I figured Riley had enough common sense to understand that metal could conduct electricity
Yeah.
and maybe make use of it, which is why I did that in the first place. So, the same would apply here, but now we also have the experience of seemingly it not liking that.
If we shake the head, can we like hear the liquid sloshing around in there?
You shake it. It feels solid. There's some heft to this thing. If you throw it at somebody, it would do some damage.
Okay, so
Don't
if
hear any
we-
sloshing.
if we want to take that cylinder out again, we need somebody to take it apart again.
Yeah, you saw all the parts are laid out. That cylinder is at the direct center of this whole thing, and there was a lot of parts laying around it.
It got
Or when Mondo was
absorbed.
taken apart.
I don't think we're getting it back.
Okay. Yeah, I don't want it back. I just wanted to make sure it's not just like loose liquid and fluid just floating around the head and just like fucking everything
It'll
else.
dry out. I'm not super worried.
Yeah, maybe
That
that's
was-
just what we have to wait for.
It's like a sticky residue inside of it.
Maybe the bag of rice is actually a good idea.
That was all the vials, right?
This was all the vials. If you put 4 vials into there, yes.
Okay.
This is where Mills reveals his secret 5th vial.
I have more vials. I think when we took them from the hostages that they pulled them out of, I think I took some too. I have 3 vials of aquamarine.
Are you
I'm not
gonna
saying
use
we
them?
should put more in there. It's just if anyone needs any, I have it.
This isn't the aqua and marine that I'm used to, so I'm good.
What's the best way for us to find a Silverwind drug operation? Do you guys want to go back to where it started? We can go back to Imus. There's more kobold trickery going on there, I've heard.
Were the kobolds related to the drug trade last time?
I don't
Or
think
was
we
it just
ever-
the fact that they was in the sewers?
Yeah, they were in the sewers. I don't think we ever connected the two, but we just found out that they were stealing. But we don't know how things have developed since then, since we shut down that lab.
What about
Fairhaven was also shut down.
Was it?
what about Noria? Am I saying that right?
Noria, yeah.
Yeah, Noria.
Well, I passed through there about a year ago, and I didn't see anything funny. Mind you, I was kind of in a rush.
Where's Noria? Oh, I see, right by the coast.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, by the coast south west of Rios.
Oh, we'd probably have to go incognito there, because last I checked, they're still looking for us.
Yeah. Where can we teleport to that's like relatively close to there? Or are we gonna have to go by dragon?
If you haven't really been to that section of the map like extensively, you could anywhere you could teleport would be further away from where you currently are.
Okay.
Yeah, we're
it's
pretty
like-
close. We're only a few days by dragon.
Yeah.
Is that all it is? A few days?
Yeah, a few days.
I mean, we've never been there, so I'm happy to go there. Do we know what kind of place it is? Like, is it like a dirt road village or is it like a city?
Riley has an idea.
Yeah, you've been there. You're there for like 20 minutes, but you
Yeah,
passed through.
realistically, yeah.
Yeah. It is a town, like a fairly large-sized town. Pretty widespread, but kind of like loose. If that, it's not like super tightly packed. A lot of open space between buildings, and it seems to be one of the more heavily religious, at least, just because there's like a lot of.
Yeah,
religious
there was like a mini Hall of the Ten there, right?
Yeah, there's many Hall of the Ten. The main center, main town center, has like a big fountain with like all the 10 in there. Like it seems fairly religious.
I'm down for that. If we're just like kind of fishing for a place Silverwind might be, I'm fine to do that.
I just suspect since it's on the coast and it's a good
And-
trade.
That's
But
true. Yeah.
and it goes to Hora. So yeah, you're right about that.
Oh yeah, you're right. I never really paid attention to the.
I didn't even consider that on my way back. That is
Huh.
an excellent idea. I can't believe it.
Yeah, I'm down for that. So we're just looking for like what more Silverwind, like labs or what are we? What's the objective?
Or do we
Well-
want to contact Tannen first and see if there's something going on in that place?
My only concern was that we haven't like read his mind yet or fully verified that we can trust him. I don't want to warn him that we're going anywhere. That's just me.
Or we could meet up with him and verify him.
We can. Oh, okay. We can kind of do both because we can ride the dragon to Noria, and then we can still teleport to wherever Tannen is. If he's in Obethus, I can take us to Obethus. Whatever, wherever we need to go, we can do both at the same time. I think. I could try to find out where he is right now.
It's been a year too. So, if he's been looking into this problem like it seems like he said he would, we could have more leads if he's faithful to us.
Can I scry on Tannen?
Yeah, you haven't used your thing yet, have you?
No, it's like a new day, right?
Yeah, I think we
Like-
just found.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's been like a day since you found Mondo, correct?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's been several days because he's been working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you would have had it. It's currently like nighttime at this point. I
It's
believe.
nighttime?
It's like a little past evening. It's like 7 o'clock.
Perfect. Perfect. I would like to scry on Tannen.
Okay. Okay. Sure. Yeah. You blink, and you're in an office immediately. It looks like a fairly standard office. It kind of looks like the same office at the other Server One building, like a fairly small office, single desk, couple of decorations, if a bit smaller. And you see 10 just up. You can see there's a couple windows out looking onto this street. And it looks like the same street that you saw 10 to begin with, like the one you like, just him at the window just reading a book, like exact same street. You can see the alleyway and everything, and he's doing pretty much the exact same thing. He's currently reading a book just by a window. Same building you were in before, or not in before, but same building you spied on before when you first were aware of Tannen, where he became injured via magic missile.
Okay, I guess when the scrying is complete, I will tell the gang. Let's start flying to Noria so we can get there by dragon. But for now, we can teleport, like us, the party alone, without the dragon, can teleport to Obethus, and I think he is in the same spot we met him.
So what, should we, like, summon him from outside of his office or something?
I mean, with as much sneaky stuff as we can do, I don't see why not. Like, why we don't just go inside.
I suppose that's fair.
If all else fails, we just teleport out of there.
Chris, do you have teleportation circle prepared?
Yeah, I have thing. Yeah, I have. I can teleport.
Okay, we have our panic button.
I can also teleport.
Well, we gotta get there first, right?
Well, see, when I was traveling over the last year, I can get us to Obethus at least. Simon, where's the closest I could get us to his his little building that he was at?
Oh, you can get in the same district. Because where you're stealing from is probably the rich part of the neighborhood, which is where that office is located. So like you can get pretty close of that office, like 5-10 minute walk maybe.
Okay. I can at least get us there. I'm just trying to offer my services so we don't have to burn through spell slots.
Is that a plan then?
Are we gonna disguise ourselves? Go invisible? What's the deal? Do we let him know we're coming?
I personally don't want to warn him we're coming. As for going under disguises, I think that's probably smart.
Alright. I'm lousy at doing me own makeup, so you're gonna have to help me out.
Let me see. Who's really good at makeup? Was it Eddie?
Yes.
Oh yeah, the tiefling, yeah.
I'm gonna try to channel your inner Eddie.
I thought about teleporting to her, but I don't want to waste slots if I don't have to. I guess yeah, if it'll give Riley a some kind of bonus to his roll on if he uses makeup to disguise himself, I will help him.
For what it's worth, Yule wasn't very good at it either. We almost got caught in Noria.
All right, so you guys are flying to Noria.
Yes.
Okay. What's the distance on that bitch? All right. 30 miles. Yeah, it's gonna be like
5 miles per the soul.
Yeah, between
What?
2 to 3
The
days.
gallon.
Yeah, 2 to 3 days. Where's the orb? Error 2 in all this. Who's containing the now defunct construct?
He's big, isn't he? Like
The sphere itself is about like the size of a basketball.
The sphere is still detached from the rest of. Then again, it just like attaches itself, right? When it's in orb mode.
Yes.
Okay.
I think it's I think it's me, right? Because it can go in a ball.
yes.
Yeah, if you want to put it in a
From my
ball.
understanding. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so you're putting the sphere in the ball.
Yep.
Okay.
Holy shit! Ball in the ball.
It's like
The universe implodes around you.
it's like I'm understanding right. This is the construct, like you just said,
Yes.
in ball form.
Yes.
This isn't
Yeah, just-
the. Why am I having trouble grasping this concept? Because it can walk around, but it can also turn into a ball.
Yes.
Okay.
It's the ball
Like it's going
itself is like
upstairs.
the ball. It has a body technically. The ball itself is where everything is contained. All the, the sight, the mind, anything that it really needs to function is contained all in that ball. Everything else is just extraneous limbs that you can just detach, like a lizard
But
almost.
the limbs are on it right now.
Not currently. It is currently just a ball.
I'd like to put the limbs back on and put it in a ball. Let's make it a complete set.
And as you sort of get close, the limbs get close. It sort of magnetically attaches to itself.
Okay. We should give this thing a name because it's not air.
Mm,
Aaron. That wasn't funny. Don't laugh.
Heaven.
Thesaurus.com.
What's error backwards?
roar.
Roar. Blunder.
I am
Roar.
correct. Here
Rory.
we are.
Oh, glitch is fun.
That's cute.
What's a glitch?
Sin. Sin is also on here. Boner's on here.
Would you like to name the construct boner?
I'm not opposed to it. I have no qualms against it.
I think it's funny now, and then in a month from now, we're like, why did we do this?
I like glitch.
Glitch
That's
is
cute.
good. Let's name him Glitch. Okay.
Okay.
Glitch goes in the ball.
Next
Is that
one's
like a
just gonna be
bitch
like
on a glade or
failure.
something? A glade bitch?
A what?
A glade bitch. A glitch.
Glitch.
What is a glitch?
Me and my glitches.
How did we know what error? Oh, because it would give that message.
Yeah.
Has this
What if
one
we-
said anything?
Yeah, if we
It's
try
been
to...
repeating out of words.
Does it give us any kind of error when we try to press buttons?
Not so far, because it's been around for like an hour or so before the Arcania's been dumped and just been defunct since.
We broke it. We broke it. We broke it.
Okay, back in the ball.
Okay. Yeah, as you put the construct in the ball, all with all the limbs attached. It's
Yes.
you've seen how the orientation of the limbs go. Yeah, it is very much like those like magnetic toys, like one like those like sticks in magnetic balls. Yeah, you just get closer, just magnetically attach it to itself, and you just connect them all, and then yeah, that's pretty much the rest of its body. Yeah, let's put in the ball. Taking on the travels. The days pass. You can have conversations if you'd like. I guess you already did.
I thought we were teleporting.
Are you flying?
having-
Or you can't teleport to Noria because none of you have actually been there to
But
collect an object.
what Misty said was get the dragon to fly to Noria while we teleport to Obethus.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. What's it called again? Ghost riding the whip. Let's do that.
Goose ride the whip. Okay, let me rewind the clock here. There we go. Okay, so dragon goes, but you guys teleport to. Let me get Polaris on this map here. Oh, he big, too big.
No, what's up, big he is? You can leave him like that.
Alright, that's really bigger. He's on the way. Currently, probably about there, but yeah, you guys teleport to Obthis.
I love Object. That's my favorite city.
Chris is no longer here alone. Get rid of his token. But you guys using Giorgio's token there.
Giorgio drift.
Nani?
He is pretty fucking fast. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, he
That's a
is.
supercharged black bear.
Can Giorgio drift, please? I need to know.
He can drift. He's just. Ever seen a bear handbrake turn before?
I would play Giorgio Kart.
Right to the item box like Scorpion on a stick.
That's a deep
where's
cut.
the favorite
We
cut?
haven't talked about Scorpion on a stick in a very long time.
That's just super dead, but it is super funny.
Yeah, not throwing it away.
You just have a decaying scorpion on a stick. It's like the world's worst.
It's even
s'more.
more badass than when it was alive.
The world's worst s'more.
a memento to the
That was like the
wacky
first
adventures.
animal I acquired.
Yeah, really. It was the scorpions. You can't really bond with it, but yeah, you could just hold it up against something and just hold it steady. Okay, but you teleport to the gemstone center. Zero, you have found a just loose stone in the middle of an alleyway, a very inconspicuous place to teleport. Not away from main roads and everything, but within the gemstone center itself, the I won't say the hub, but like the main place of wealth, where the richest of the rich of the city go to live, go to shop, go to do whatever else they want to do, and also the target of all your burglaries and larcenies for quite some time. I'll throw in medieval town music. Okay. It's currently nighttime. Yeah, there we go. So the sun is low, if not gone pretty much entirely at this point. The clouds ahead, they've definitely provided a lot of cover, but there is a lot of torchlight here as well. It is just kind of like a murky night in a lot of senses. The feeling of solid terra firma of cobblestone instead of like the very cracky, dry, very parched earth you were in only a few seconds ago. And the night is still young. You can still hear the laughter and cheers of people. Just a bit more sophisticated than what you used to. They're not just drunken cheers, but like people on the way to like galas or parties or gatherings or dinners or business meetings galore. We're just generally having a walk around this place. The somewhat sweet scent of just lingering perfume of people that have just applied too much, or just possibly there's a lot of people that have applied a little around. But sort of keeping out of sight. Easy enough with Zero's help. You can make it back to the paper trail where the two main Silverwind buildings are located. One apparently holds tannin.
What do you guys want to do? You guys want to go invisible? What do we want to do?
Are we breaking in? Are we going to bullshit our way through? Do we call them out right now?
I mean, I can just pick the lock. We can get in.
What's the guard presence like?
There are two guards at the entrances of both buildings.
Oh.
The one on the left is the one you broke into before, originally. The one that has now a patched hole where there used to be a hole in the building is.
Come on, guys! It's been a year. Get your shit together.
Yeah, and it's patched now. It's all fine. So it looks like it hasn't been damaged.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, but
I thought you put a tarp over it or something.
no, like the brick is clearly newer. Like it's not just weathered, but like
Okay.
it's a functional building now.
Never mind. Retracted.
Yeah, but like the windows are placed and everything. Like it's still there. Yeah, two guards, just normal city-looking guards, chainmail spear. Just I posted at the front of each entrances. The one on the left is one you broke into before. They're both 3 stories, but the one on the right is thicker. It's wider. And at the top, the only lights you can see from any windows. The one on the right has more windows, but the only light you see at the very top floor, just dim candlelight.
Think that's on mark?
I think so. You said there's 2 guards at both doors?
Yes. And you are in your familiar alley that you've hit. This is now the 3rd time you've hidden in.
What's the what's the door situation like? Like, is there like a little like kind of awning above the door, or is it just a flat building wall with a flat door?
It is just a flat building wall, flat door, no awnings or anything. This section of the city is very utilitarian.
Yeah.
In contrast to the rest of this sector of the city, where it's very lavish, very bougie. It kind of reminds you of Tetsuka in some ways, where it's like it is just square brick building, almost no adornment whatsoever. It is business, where the other side is pleasure.
What if we just like Looney Tunes style cut a hole in the roof?
Then they'd try to arrest us for property damage.
Not if we got up there like quietly.
Yeah, but they'd still try to do it afterwards. I'm tired of being on a wanted poster.
I mean, we're still wanted. That's not gonna change anything. It's just today we don't have to like get caught. Like there doesn't have to be combat. Whatever happens, we can just teleport out of here. But I don't know. I'm just trying to find an option here. How dark is it now?
It's fairly dark actually. There's still torchlights around, but like the sun is gone and like it's kind of cloudy. So like it's and yeah, because it's cloudy, there's really no moon like to be seen.
Oh,
So it's fairly dark, other than the few little torches that like each one guard on each door is holding, and you can see distant torches of other guard patrols just walking, but they're fairly far away.
where are we located right now? Are we like directly in front, or?
You are across the street from the two buildings in an alleyway.
Same alleyway we
Okay.
usually pop up the tiny hut in.
Yep.
Can we see inside the building, like through windows?
There's windows. There's two windows on the left building, one on the bottom floor, one on the top, but no lights are in either of them. It is a dark building. There's more windows on the building on the right. That's the one Tannen is probably in, the wider building. There is light at the top window. There's a window at the bottom one too, which is where a lot of you saw some chaos happening in there on the bottom floor. And a couple windows on the middle floor, but like you can see in them, but it's a little dark, and your dark vision does not extend from this range.
So if we get a little closer, I can probably get into one of those rooms where the light's on.
If you can get to the top floor, yeah.
What did we do last time? We climbed the roof of the building across the street.
I believe so. Yeah, like there's buildings across the street as well. I think some of you climbed up it.
I'm pretty sure Riley didn't. He was probably just, waiting in the tiny hut.
I think so, yeah.
Well, I don't really know what you guys were up to last time, but, every single time we've dealt with these buildings, it's never gone well. Should we maybe have a successful infiltration today?
Do we have any charming magic? Because I don't think we'll have to be in there long if we cast Charm Person or something.
He took a magic missile. He's probably not going to...
I mean on the guards.
Oh, good point. Never mind. Well, I have the flute. That'll scare him off. How loud is it, by the way?
They're pipes, I believe. The pipes of haunting.
Yeah.
Like you have to play them loud enough to be audible. Like fairly loud. It's an instrument. They're meant to be heard.
Right. It's like a 30-foot radius or something.
For the magic, yeah. It's possibly audible more.
Hmm.
Do we know anyone that Tannen has met before? Like, okay, there's a bodyguard that was with him at the Hall of Ten after we attacked him. I think we scryed on him just to make sure he was like not dead. There was a bodyguard with him, right?
I believe so. Yes. Whose name I do not remember currently, but there was a bodyguard. He had like a crushed in head, or like an axe wound or something.
And yeah, that the same guy who Riley talked to when he projected image?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, okay. That guy was really docile.
Let me see if I can find that name.
I can get into that room. It's just if anyone else is gonna come in.
Yeah. What
Well.
with Missy Step?
Or Dimension
Yeah.
Door.
Oh, I see. Is from the roof of the building to the window that Chris is looking into, I guess, the second story window, is that within 30 feet to use Misty Step?
The width of the street itself is probably greater than 30 feet.
Oh, okay, so no, okay.
Yeah.
So-
Like the building across but matches roughly in height, so you could dimension door inside if you could see. You don't even need to do that, honestly. Dimension door goes through the barriers.
Yeah, I think as long as we can see inside of it.
I'm trying to think somebody with authority that the guards would let just walk through the door, because if we could disguise as somebody and trick them, and then I could just have the door open long enough and everyone else can go invisible and walk in with me. Wait, can Chris take anyone with him with Dimension Door?
Yeah.
One person.
And Riley also has Dimension Door.
Oh! So, theoretically, if we climb on top of the roof and we can see inside the window, or whatever we need to do to see inside, you guys could just get us in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is Answin here with us?
For this heist mission, probably not.
No.
She on the dragon?
Probably just to keep things held down, likely.
Alright.
Or is she in the ball currently?
No, she's not on the ball unless she has to be.
Yeah, that was a last resort type deal.
Yeah. For a heist mission that presumably is going to take too much time, she probably opted to stay on the dragon just to make sure everything was kosher.
She's our getaway driver.
Kind of, yeah. Like, yeah, she keeps the engine warm. Yeah.
So wait, hold
Don't
on.
even-
Just to reconfirm, there's 2 lights on, one in each building?
No, the only light
Oh.
on currently is on the building on the right.
Oh,
the
then why
left,
don't we...
the left building that you previously broke into is completely dark from what you can see.
Yeah, we could just teleport in there then. 500
that.
feet? That's a lot.
Yeah, for Dimension Door, you don't even need like line of sight. You just need to know the distance and where you're going.
And we can see the light from where we are, right?
Yeah, and you know
Okay.
roughly the distance. So like you could do it from on the street if you want to.
Yeah. Okay, let's... Are we down to be this careless? We do have an out, so we can do that.
I mean, if we're just gonna be face to face with them and figuring out if we can trust him anyways, I don't really mind being out in the open with him. I'm gonna go invisible though when we teleport.
Alright, well... Give the signal then.
Are we gonna go on the roof first and then teleport into the room?
No, we can just do it from right here.
Can we do it from here?
Yep.
Yeah, because you don't need a line of sight to where you're going. You just need to know what direction and what distance.
I'm gonna double check to see if Tannen's actually in that room, like with the Giselle rifle scope.
Okay. Like, yeah, you can zoom in and just like look like you're about to just JFK somebody. But yeah, zooming in, you don't see from the angle. You don't see a person directly, but you do see movement, like a light of a candle eventually being, or occasionally being obscured by something moving across the light. So someone's in there, but he doesn't have to go to the window often, if at all.
So I think maybe we should get a closer look, just to be sure that is Tannen.
I can send Azek in to just swoop by.
That's a really good idea. Better than mine.
Let me see. What forms do I have for Azek? Okay, I guess he's a owl right now. Can I release Azek to like fly, not directly from where we are, but maybe like fly in the opposite direction and like U-turn around in the sky and then just kind of pass the window to get a glance and see who's in there?
Yeah. As you send Owl Azek up into the sky, you look up and you lose sight of him visually because he just blends in with the black of the sky above as he sort of does this U-turn swoop, eventually passing across the window and just looking in, even through your senses. You see something that looks, yeah, like a very ostentatious, colorful garb, long hair. Looks, you haven't seen, have you seen Tannen personally? I don't think you have.
No, I think Chris is the only one.
And Riley.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, you see a, like a human man ostentatiously dressed, long hair, a little salt and pepper through, and like a bearded, like a pointed beard with like a brass ring keeping it together. A little tan.
I saw him in Dream. Does that count?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he looks more or less the same.
I will just confirm to the party. Yeah, he's in there.
Right
I
then.
didn't see anyone else in there.
From what you can see, no.
Okay. Yeah. After I let the party know, I will turn invisible. See you guys.
All right.
Okay.
Chris on 3,
Okay.
2, 1.
Yeah, you all, in your respective teleports, however they look, you all reconvene. Once again, inside an office. It is it's about how wide the building is. The office itself is smaller than the other one. Normal desk, a series of bookshelves just lining each side. Very very packed of all sorts of books, and there's a lot of decadent furs just pasted all over the walls. There's almost like a kind of like a zebra skin rug on the floor. It's kind of a little gaudy, but you do see, yeah, a human man, somewhat tanned, long hair, ostentatiously dressed in like this long, colorful robe, just dragging across the floor, currently just pacing back and forth with a book in hand. As you all just appear, he sort of jumps a little bit. Oh! And a brief moment passes as a little awkward, but eventually the surprise in his face begins to just fade into like a very gleeful smile. Oh, it's you.
Real deal this time.
In the flesh.
He closes the book and puts it on the desk and just goes to shake all of your hands. Zero, are you invisible?
I'm invisible. I will I would like to avoid being touched if I can just. I'm sure he can assume I'm here, but I don't want him to see me yet, just because I'm trying to. I don't know. I don't trust this guy.
Okay. Yeah, he goes to shake the 3 that he can see, the hands. Do each of you take it or refuse or not?
I don't see why not. Is there a way? Hold on. Does detect thoughts just happen? Or is there? I'm gonna check this out in 1 second. It is. Oh no, it is all 3. Okay, unless my fool's insight just happens. I don't know.
I believe it allows you to cast the spell, correct?
Yeah. Okay. I think that's what it is. So never mind.
Yeah. I feel like I'm missing something. I don't know. I feel like there's a set of notes I had, but whatever. Yeah, you get to shake all of your hands. It's a very firm grip, double-handed too. It kind of digs into your skins a little bit, just because like the series of rings that he has on, like all different makes, all different metals, different jewels. Some of them not jeweled at all. Just like almost one for each finger, and he's just gripping very hard. He sort of looks around. There appears to be one of you missing. I'm assuming big adventuring business.
Yep, yeah, I guess you could say that. Adventuring business.
He's just big fan. It's an honor. Please have a seat. And he begins to scramble for chairs. There's only 2 in this place.
It's fine. I'm used to standing.
Yeah, and as you make yourself comfortable to those who wish.
Yeah,
He
I'll
just
sit
takes
down.
he takes a seat in his desk. It's fairly just nice desk. It's a little messy. There's like scrolls and papers just kind of over the place. Most of it is just books. Not even like ledgers or like business stuff. It looks like novels. But he just sits down, leans in very close, big smile across his face, pearly white teeth, like perfectly taken care of. So, what can I help you with? This is unexpected.
As the adventurer and types do, we figured out some stuff when we were going around the world. I believe I, in particular, may have connected your boss to an ancient plot.
His face sort of sours a little bit, and just not like in a negative way, but just like in a very curious, almost confused way. Define ancient plot. I mean, Miss Caldi is let's call it a ruthless businesswoman, but not really like a dark god, or maybe like a demon. Is she a demon?
Not that I know of. Is she an elf?
Human.
Human. Does she speak Elvish? Read it?
Perhaps she made deals with devils.
I mean, she speaks a number of languages. It helps in the business.
This is very true. Do you happen to speak Elvish?
I don't know. I haven't had the mind for academics. At least not linguistics.
Well, even if the language is foreign to you, perhaps the words Distren and Allah, how do you even say that? I don't think you ever typed it out.
Let me try it again. Where the fuck is it? Jesus Christ, I have too many notes in my thing. Tistreda Nalahai.
Tistreda Nalahai, that's the one.
Yeah, or the full title, Tistreda Galaemai Ilhanas.
Which is the thunderstorm which brings flowers.
Correct.
Yep. So, this is an ancient, like 1,000 years ago plot from the Archon of Haura at the time, Godeathin. She had planned to build a city in the sky. What for? Probably to fire some sort of big weapon at an enemy. An enemy not of this world. As a sort of self-defense mechanism. And it used a lot of slave labor. You can see the footprints of that still in Hora's existence today, as they have never quite moved away from that. And this Project Thunderhead, we found out that Silverwind is conducting, seems eerily similar, as well as some information we gleaned from an underground source that confirmed that Project Thunderhead is to be a city in the sky. So your boss is trying to make something similar to what the Archon of Hora was trying to do before. According to the underground source, this city is to be a city of piracy, sky piracy, a new age that will be ushered in. I don't know if that's true or if it's a cover, but as you know, and we've been, going around and thwarting some plans by freeing some people of their relation to the drug trade that Silverwind is conducting. Our last heist was a year ago in Lipat. The Rexons kind of had us by the throat. We weren't able to save everyone, but we did get a few people out and extracted more aquamarine, which is, indicative of what's going on. And from what we understand, this aquamarine is being used to somehow power this city.
Yeah, he sort of just looking at you and just like with a very bewildered, somewhat overwhelmed face. As he sort of just stammers a bit, clears his throat. And not that I don't believe you. It's, you're the Zodiacs, after all. Where did you come by this information? I mean, this seems like a lot. I mean, Miss Colley is a private individual, sure, but like a hidden ancient weapon. The drug stuff and then the trafficking. Yeah, that seems like classic underground criminal evil organization things straight from the novels. It just seems like this Thunderhead project is like a different book in a way. It's very honestly uncharacteristic of Miss Caldy, but I mean, I'm just curious why, how.
Still trying to figure that out ourselves.
Oh well, okay.
Because if it is just a front for perhaps reviving the old city and firing some sort of giant weapon at the enemy, we are also trying to defeat that enemy. And we believe we have more solid methods that don't involve, slavery. So, if that were to be the case, I don't know. I mean, she sent assassins after us and tried to kill us, so maybe not an alliance, but certainly some sort of ceasefire.
Okay, so did you? Well, okay, what would you like me to do? I'll help as best I can. Do you want this Thunderhead project to continue?
We're not sure yet. We need to learn the nature of it.
Okay, but I haven't heard of any specific project like this before, but I can certainly try to do some digging for you.
I would like to do something if I may.
What would you like to do?
Just while they're talking, because I just don't want the conversation to end before I do it. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, it's fine.
The desk that Tannen's sitting at, if I I know I'm invisible, but if I ducked behind it and came out of invisibility, would I be blocked from his sight?
Well, like prone on the side of the desk, like out of sight.
Like if I crouched behind the desk on the opposite side of him, like I guess we're next to where Chris is sitting, would I be out of his line of sight? Like he would not necessarily, could I hide there?
Probably if you're crouched directly below the desk, and like you'd be at the feet of all your companions, pretty much.
Okay. Would I still have some kind of sight on Tannen, just like his feet or something?
It's a pretty solid desk. There's actually no gap between the floor and the desk itself. It's like a solid wall with like some very beautiful scrolling in it, but yeah.
Is there anywhere else to hide in the room? I know it's a small room, but
Fairly small room. The decorations, nothing really sticks out necessarily. You can try to get out of his line of sight, like behind him. There's a small space, but like there's nothing necessary to hide behind. There's a couple places, but it depends on how far away you want to be.
I just need to be in this room. I'm just trying to hide because I want to cast Detect Thoughts, and I have Magical Ambush, so if I am hidden from a creature when I cast a spell on it, the creature has disadvantage on saving throws made against the spell. So, because I am going to want to probe deeper, I just want to know that we can. I feel like we can, but I just really don't want to proceed without knowing for sure. So I just wanted to find a place in the room where I can hide and still have eyes on him, so I could just cast a spell real quick.
Okay. Yeah, there's a couple places you can try. With your stealth, make a stealth check.
It's going to be advantage, right?
If you're coming out of invisibility.
I haven't cast it yet, so I.
Oh, it would be because the cast is an action. I see.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm not casting it quite yet. If I could hide with invisibility first, and then when I cast it, it'll drop.
Sure. Yeah, good enough. There's like a spot in the corner. It's just outside, or just out of eyeshot from the window itself. So it's kind of a pretty dark corner. You're not necessarily hiding behind stuff, but like you're just like on the peripheral vision. And with your dark clothing, you can sort of just stand there and be somewhat obscured by the shadows. Especially, and there's like a curtain that's sort of somewhat blowing in the wind too. Like, yeah, you're not hiding behind things, but you're definitely obscured and hidden.
Okay. I would like to cast Detect Thoughts from here, and if I just cast it and get surface level thoughts, my invisibility will drop immediately anyway, right? Because I passed this bow.
Correct.
So could I just bypass the surface thoughts? Can I just go straight to the meat and just make him make a saving throw?
You could.
I would like to do that because if it's gonna drop anyway, I just want to get to the point.
Yeah, the deck thoughts, it lasts for like a minute or something. So you can hit surface thoughts and then probe deeper later if you want to.
Let me see.
Or last for like 10 minutes. I don't remember how long it lasts.
1 minute.
1 minute.
Yeah, I wanted to just skip the surface thoughts because I knew that the invisibility was gonna drop anyways. I didn't want him to like see me and start freaking out before I get to the deeper thoughts, if that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah. What's your spell save DC?
It is 18, and he has disadvantage.
Right. Oh. It was bad, then it got worse. Okay. Okay. The meat of his brain is made of meat. But like the deeper thoughts, just skipping straight through the surface thoughts and going to his core fundamental thought process. He is currently actively absorbing information that you can detect. And he is coming to terms with the fact that his boss is in fact actually evil, like more than he thought. And he's currently trying to think of any connections he can possibly aid with.
I see. Okay, and he'll know I'm probing his mind, right?
I believe so once the spell breaks, yes.
Let me see. Oh, unless you shift your attention to another creature's thoughts, the creature can use its action to turn its check. Okay, so he'll know either way, right?
I think once you probe deeper, he'll know someone's breaching to his thoughts.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'm sure he'll understand. But yeah, I'll just keep doing it until spell ends, or until he notices me and gets mad or whatever.
Okay.
Riley was literally, before you said that, was literally about to ask if I could, like, detect his thoughts. So I might actually ask that anyway.
Yeah,
Because Riley
doesn't.
doesn't...
Yeah,
No.
I didn't tell Riley I was doing it. So.
No, yeah, I have no idea what Zero's doing. I'm going to ask if I can. Just to make sure we're on the same page, since I haven't been able to do this yet. Do you mind if I read your thoughts a bit?
Is this like a trust thing? I mean,
Yeah.
of course, I have nothing to hide.
Okay, cool. So then, unless Zero would like to step out of the shadows now, I'm going to do that.
No, I'm just gonna stand here and. Actually, okay. At this point, when Riley asked that, have I already cast it? It already happened.
Yeah.
Okay, I will just speak from my little hidden corner loud enough for like Riley and everyone to hear me. I'll just say like, he's clean.
Huh?
Yeah. I just say that Tannen's head whips around, his flowing, luscious hair blowing as he does, as he sort of spots like a shadowy figure standing in his corner of the office. As he sort of just gets up, you can hear the chair slide and screech across the floor as he just walks over and starts grabbing your hand, shaking it vigorously. Honor.
Oh, who's that?
Oh, well, if you've confirmed it, then, well, no need for me to do any searching. That's quite the relief, actually. We were warned to beware the silver tongue, so to know it's not you is excellent.
I mean, I'm pretty good with words, I think, but silver tongue might be, well, I don't want to toot my own horn. It's a little high standard for me, maybe.
You think it would apply more to your boss?
I mean, maybe. I mean, she's good at making deals, though. Let's call it a ruthless business practice. She's more into getting her way instead of convincing people to help, if you understand that.
We've met one of her victims who was very much, fell victim to that exact mentality. What was the exact? It was like the ransom note, not that one. Something else. Not that. Fairhaven? No. Nope. Either way, we met the guy. We got him out of Lipad, and he was like, "Yeah." She kind of like came after me after I didn't agree. I don't remember his name. It's been a year.
Brynwald Olwen.
That's the one. Yeah, we met a certain Brynwald in Lipat who gave us the rundown of what she's like.
Mr. Olwen.
Yeah, that one.
Well, that explains his disappearance. He's a respected fellow, mercantile businessman as well. Textiles, stuff like that. But he just disappeared one day after a meeting with Miss Caldy.
That lines up with what we were told and also witnessed. Oof. Sorry to be the bearers of bad news.
Well, I mean, you've told me from the get-go, somewhat. Well, now that I've, well, I don't want to be presumptuous, but entered the circle of trust, I'm clean, yes, right?
If you've got Zero's trust, you've got our trust.
Look, I'll take that as a high honor. Am I? No, do you have like a maybe a complimentary Zodiac member pin, maybe? like a deputy. Do you have a deputy star?
We've got friendship bracelets.
Can you deputize me? Friendship
I'll-
bracelets.
I'm gonna start smiling and just be like, I can give you a tattoo.
Oh, please.
We don't even have
Face
those.
tattoo. Oh, it'd be an honor. I mean, can
Zero,
you do
I
it with a
thought-
dagger?
Wait, hold on, Zero. Wasn't that for that had a purpose, and you don't want to put that on him because then he'll be linked to that purpose.
Yes, I'm joking.
Oh. there's some disappointment in his voice.
Trust, it's a good thing.
I'll conjure up a deputy star.
Aww.
Yeah, like what's it look like?
It's just a little 5-pointed star, like the stars on the hats that from Pratchell's house.
Yeah, it's just a little star that says you are the deputy of all time.
Can I give him a friendship bracelet as well?
Yeah, you have plenty of friendship bracelets on hand. Just a lot of material. Even just collecting and scavenging.
Can I give him a vial of our blood?
That's probably a bad idea.
These are the 3 gifts they gave to Jesus.
A deputy star, a friendship bracelet, and vials of blood.
It'd be kind of funny if I did, though.
Just what he needs.
Talon, do you mind your novels being vandalized?
Well, I mean, well, what for?
You wanted an autograph.
Oh, yes, of course. Let me see. He begins rummaging through like various different bookshelves. There's at least 3 in here, and they're all chock full of books. And he's just like going through the spines of like which one is his favorite. It's like Forgotten Tunnels of Fondova, no. Crypts of Decimation, no. 3 Turned to Stone Dock, no. As he eventually pulls one book. Cloud Queen's Lightning. As he sort of just it's a very thick book, and like the cover just looks like some sort of like blue like light blue skinned giantess with like a winged Viking helmet, like throwing lightning down at people. As he begins to just find like a pen, quill, as he begins to just shove the book very close to all of you. He's like, please, if you could sign this book, possibly my body. Maybe you can sign in my body.
Riley will just draw like a nice little fish on the book.
Like little
What is
fish.
the name of the cloud queen?
Oh, sorry, what was that?
What is the name of the cloud queen?
Genevieve. She is a somewhat estranged character, a very humiliated character that comes back for revenge after several decades of training. It's a classic story.
Sounds like a good novel.
That's one of my favorites.
I'll write a little kind of mask,
You draw a
kind of
little.
like the Mask of Madness.
Okay. Yeah, as he does that, he's yeah, the most gleeful smile, possibly on the verge of tears, as he's getting the autographs from each of you, the fish, the mask. He sort of slides the book over to you, Jana.
Oh, because we're signing it?
Yes, if you want to.
If you want to.
Can I put? This would be so mean. What if I just? Do you know how some people sign their signatures with an X? I'll sign my real
What?
name. I'll sign my name.
Yeah, you're right. Janice, Jana
Janice.
Burgess, Hannes. Yeah, and then sign your name. The only actual name here, not like a drawing. As he's he finally hands it to you, Zero. A tear rolls down his cheeks.
I love how Jana was like, not Jana, Josie was like, what were you saying? Signing your name with an X? What do you mean?
Oh, you know how some people like on legal documents or like on checks or like any like a credit card or anything, instead of signing their name, they'll just do an X because it doesn't really need to be your name as like a shorthand thing. And I just think
I
it'd be
see.
funny if someone was looking to get a celebrity autograph and you did an X because it doesn't really represent your name. Sorry, that's like too old person shit.
No,
nobody
does that
it's
anymore.
funny. And it made me laugh because that's what I planned on doing anyways, but like,
Yeah.
doing it-
Oh, because you're
It's
that makes more
perfect.
sense for you.
It's perfect for Zero because
Yeah.
Zero and Zodiac.
Yeah.
X0, X-Zodiac.
Do
I
that.
just wanted to know why it'd be silly. I was like, wait, would it be?
No, it'd be funny in our world, not for Zero.
I guess if he slides it over to me, I will just sign the next.
As you sign the X, he sort of closes the book.
Oh wait, is there room for
for
one more
ta-
signature?
Yeah, there's plenty of room.
I would like to like. How are we signing this? Is this like quill and
It's,
ink?
yeah, quill and ink.
I don't love this, but I'm gonna like paint at the end of. I'm assuming this is a feather quill.
Yeah.
Just let me do this. Take the if it's a feather quill. I'm gonna take the little end of the feather, dip it into the ink, and then paint Giorgio's nose with it, and then have him like stamp it on the page, and that's his signature.
Just
little
boop his nose.
Yeah.
Yeah. And with the final signature completed, with all 5 members of the Zodiacs, he sort of closes the book and puts like the star in between the pages. Sort of like takes one good look at it, like longingly sighs, and then puts the book like somewhere in his robe and just never takes it out for the rest of the conversation. But yeah, he sort of just goes, "Oh, thank you all. It's a great honor, great honor. I'm big fan. Oh, this is a dream come true. I think I might faint. Oh, I might faint." He takes looks a little woozy and takes a seat, and begins to just take a big chug of some liquid in a cup he had on his desk. Oh, thank you. Oh, that's my wants sorted. You're the Zodiacs. I don't think you come here without a reason. So, I mean, you told me about this Thunderhead project. And Miss Cawley's involvement with the darker sides of business. What can I do? Now that he takes out the star, an official devotee. I have connections. I have abilities. I have some insight knowledge.
I'm gonna cast message and I'll just send a message. Not message, excuse me, not message, excuse me. Fuck. Well, yeah, it's message, not sending message. cantrip, and I want to send it to Riley, and I'm just going to say, we need to be careful with what we ask of him. We can't risk losing him if she finds out he's helping us.
Yeah, Riley kind of just agrees with that.
Where is Ricaldi now?
Liz Ricaldi. She's back from her business trip and saw it. It took a long time, longer than I thought. Roughly the year. She's back. She's somewhere in the city. Adethis. I can set up a meeting between the two of you if you wish, though. I can't say how well that will go if she's actively trying to kill you. I don't think she herself is a combatant. Not that I've seen her in a fist fight, but she has other ways to be dangerous.
Yeah, we tried spying on her. Didn't work out.
That tracks. I mean, she's I don't say paranoid, but a very protective and private person. Well, alternatively, if you don't want to go through the official channels, I can maybe convince her to stay later in the night tomorrow so you can have a conversation, or maybe get her out of the office earlier so you can rummage through her things. I don't know how you want to approach this, if at all.
Well, considering most of our outs have fallen, we had tried to exposing Silverwind a long time ago. That was the first assault on the office. And, well, High Priest Rethor paid the price for us. She's gone now.
I heard she got transferred to the different cell in Sylnia? Or was it Thane?
Oh.
Oh,
Wherever
Wait
she
a
is,
second.
I know she's, it's going to be hard to access her.
Wait, if she's in Sylnia, then she's not gone. She's probably just in a beholder cell,
probably, yeah.
because my magic can't reach her.
Oh, I hope she's in fucking Sylnia, dude. God damn it.
There's hope yet if she's there.
I mean, I wish I could be more help on that front. I possibly can with a bit of time. All I've heard was she just got transferred.
Oh, we had ins with Sylnia, and then we lost them. When we waged war on the Arbiter, that's when shit went down.
I was wondering what those wanted posters were about. The Arbiter is he's a person.
We met him. We know.
We didn't even do anything wrong.
Well, I don't know that, but the Arbiter is
In the eyes of the law, we did. In
Yes.
morality, we've done nothing wrong.
The Arbiter is he's a very lawful person from what his standards of the law is. I mean, I suppose I understand somewhat if your entire city is entirely populated mostly with criminals. I suppose you need some sort of iron fist, but I never met the man myself, but I do know he has many connections across the mainland, mostly.
Yeah, that would be where we fucked up with Sylvia.
Yeah.
We didn't know. We kind of just figured because Sylvia was cool to us, that they would also be cool with us fucking over the Arbiter. They weren't.
Well, I can understand if Sylvia is... Well, I don't know for sure, but I keep... There's a strange relationship that the Arbiter, Teague, has with the rest of the mainland. It always seems strange to me why they kept sending criminals to a location when, for the most part, those criminals before the foundation of Teague would have just been executed or just put in like a super max prison and just thrown away the key. But no, they throw them to Teague, and I did a little digging. I can't say for certain, but it seems like something comes out of Teague. I think it's Arcanium. I don't know where we're getting it from, but if that's true, it makes sense why Sylnia is kind of shitless now. Sylnia goes through a lot of Arcanium.
What led you to believe Arcanium comes from Teague?
Well, I can't say for sure. Just grapevine. Being in the
makes
business
sense.
of mercantile, you hear a lot of things. You talk to a lot of people from different walks of life, different wealth, different cultures, different histories, and it's just meet enough people, you just hear a lot of things, and I just keep hearing that why Teague? And not that I've had much dealings with underground, but I've heard maybe some conversation with less scrupulous people, and there might be more to the object than I thought.
It does make sense a little bit. Error was already kind of conscious in a way. And we found them in the dragon lair, or well, just in our house. So it was like, did he come from the in Thane? You know, like Thane itself seems kind of unnatural. Just a lot of weird things there.
Oh shit! Do you think that's what those tunnels were for?
The what?
The tunnels.
What tunnels?
They were digging tunnels. We scribed on them a couple of times. We were looking for a friend, and we saw them digging tunnels through the mountains. The prisoners.
They're using prisoner labor. I just thought they were just sitting there.
What do you think Teague is? What is your understanding of what Teague is?
I thought they just sit there and just were punished somehow and just stood there. I thought the prisoner was just freezing to death, and surviving was that was what you did there. I didn't know they
It
were
is a
working.
wasteland. People out there, yes, they're dying on the streets. It is freezing cold. They're in the worst conditions possible, and they're also using prison labor.
I didn't think there's anything to do in Teague, to be honest.
Well, that makes it all the more suspicious. It also makes it incredibly suspicious that the Arbiter has, powerful mages with him as his bodyguard.
And now he has a fucking alien laser gun.
Yeah, we may have fucked up on that one.
And so does Jarn Hat.
Oh, yeah. So now Silnia and Teague have alien technology. Oh, by the way, did you ever find the spire? You did, right?
The spire?
The obelisk, the anchor.
I found one in Mazmazak's lair, but like they were already on it as soon as like I was done with that place. They were in there already.
So they've been whittling away at that for a year. Right, we didn't explain that to Tannen yet. So the enemy that, Project Thunderhead, or at least the old version of it, is supposed to help deal with is, he'll look up at the moon, that thing.
Yep, it is a dark, cloudy day. Moon's not visible, but you know where roughly it is. You can see kind of the light from it.
Yeah, obscured by the clouds, the moon, that thing. That appears to be their base.
Oh. Well, this makes every romantic candlelit dinner a little different now. I used to look up longingly at the moon, and you're telling me it's evil?
Well, we don't know if the moon itself is evil, but what's in it is. Well, no, it's not really evil, it's more like amoral. It is, simply a consumer, a devourer of worlds. They take biomass and they assimilate it into their form. It's just an animal hungry for food, and we are the food. Which makes it a lot more dangerous than something evil, because you could probably talk evil down with enough requirements, but these are coming for us, and there's no stopping them unless we do something proactive.
But you are doing something proactive.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
You'll save the world.
That's the hope, anyway. So, that's what we're doing in the shadows. And it's possible your boss is also trying to do that, but her methods are very, very unscrupulous. And if she's not trying to do that, and she's just trying to make a pirate city and line her pockets again, well, whatever she's trying to accomplish, it needs to be stopped in some form.
It makes me wonder why the commission are in Thane.
Yeah.
Well,
We can go
that's
visit
another
them
can
next.
of that's another can of worms we can open at some point.
Oh, I'll ask Tannen. Does the Silverwind have any connection with the commission?
Well, I don't know what the commission is.
Oh, they're kind of
Never.
like a underground organization.
Then, me personally, no. I haven't. Well, many people have dealt with the underground in Silverwind, but not I. Well, my duties mostly were above the board. I handle shipping logs and finances and the like. And I see a lot of information, but not that.
I see. Yeah.
This is tough. And so then, I imagine the Rexons would count as underground.
The crime family.
Yeah, them.
Yes. I have not had the pleasure of meeting one, thankfully.
Yeah, don't. They're just like your boss, ruthless to the end.
I wonder if, I'm wondering who Miss Caldy talked to, or was in Sant for so long.
It could have been the Pure Soul Dogma.
Maybe.
Simon, did I not hear anything while I was out there?
Regarding, like,
Just
with Caldy just
anything
being out
about.
there?
Yeah.
No. Like, you're doing your own thing, but like like whatever network, like you don't have like a very large information network. At least not in Son. You have it's very localized. But like you've been around, but you haven't heard anything about a Silverwind CEO being in Son.
Do you know what her business trip was supposed to be on paper, at least?
No, she, again, is a private person. She doesn't really tell me things except what I need to know and what my duties are and what to do. Well, regarding her at least, I find information secondhand. Just
Yeah.
things I hear in passing. Sometimes my eyes wander onto pages where maybe they shouldn't be. I've heard her say the name Bella. I don't know if that means anything.
Not to me. Wait, does it mean anything to me?
Bella.
Like Twilight?
Bella.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know if that means anything to me.
It seems familiar.
Are you sure you're not thinking Zoella?
Maybe. I mean, I'm getting a little old. My ears are. They're going a little.
Do you know a Virgil?
No, unless you're thinking
Okay.
about the one from the party from last year.
What did he look like?
Like halfling man, just chugged beer like a hug a hose.
What party?
There's a little, just a unique couple of guys getting together, and well, one of them brought a friend, Virgil, halfling fellow. He's a bit of a party animal. I don't think he has a liver.
Probably different Virgil.
Oh,
Are there any upcoming events that you know Lizra might be at?
Well, if there are, she'll tell me as soon as she leaves to go to them. I'm technically the second in command, but she keeps me on a very long leash. Maybe it's just short. No, long leash. I can do my own thing, but she doesn't. We only speak when she needs something from me.
A need to know basis. She's a very smart individual.
I tend to agree, yes. If she's in the underground, if she's dealing with criminal activity, then I suppose that is a good trait to have.
What do you think? Should we figure out how to speak to her?
I think we should do much like what we did today and make it spontaneous. But yes,
Catch
I
her
do
off
think-
guard.
Yeah, I think a face-to-face would be useful.
I can help facilitate that.
Yeah,
Maybe-
as long as you can get her in an office or something.
Yeah, I can.
The window.
I can convince her to stay a little longer in the office. She's not adverse to that. She just. Oh, I can feel her silently resenting me whenever I do that.
And she'd be in her office, the one with the door.
Yes. The door is. It's strange. It's, well, I think you've seen it once. No handles. Solid iron. It's, I think it's password coded. I don't know the password. I think she can control it from the inside, but. Yeah.
Oh, is that the office I stole the gun?
She was talking about that.
Yeah, that was me.
That's one of the expenses, actually, is buy a new gun.
How much was it?
It was kind of expensive. Roughly 750 gold just for the one piece.
We probably already know this answer, but I completely forget because literally that attack was out of character. That attack was like years ago.
Yeah.
What did Silverwind write it off as?
A burglary, I believe.
Okay.
Well, they're not wrong.
Yeah. Just like a standard wealth-looking burglary.
Is that what Lizra told you, Tannen? Not that it was just a random burglary.
Yes. Just a series of, oh, maybe overzealous burglars tried to use explosives to get in.
She knows damn well we didn't use explosives to get in.
No, we used them to get out. Didn't have to.
The explosive being Chris. Chris is the explosive. And she's made no mention of Xodiacs at all?
No.
Of course not.
No, she, again, doesn't tell me anything.
Yeah, that's right. I figured. I just want
Well, she's got ins with Ancient Assassin Guild, and we dispatched of one of them already, and then we were intimidated further, as I let you know, by another group of them who said they were, poised for a deal to come after us again, but, well, it hasn't happened in the year that we've been separated, so probably got called off. Also, probably helps that the Arbiters put the hit on us as well.
How much is one of these assassins run?
How
What
much
was
did he
that
ask us
expense?
for? 25?
Well, the price. Well, usually they told us the price is usually, like something. Well, it could be anything, but it has to be,
Precious.
yeah, it has to be like sometimes the price could be killing someone.
Yeah, it has the, from what site told you, like the, how they measure their payment is how much you want someone to die, the desire of death. For most people, that's money, apparently. Like, that's a lot of wealth to give up for someone to die. But apparently for you, there's been some, you've made some talks with the site that, like, hey, if you kill one of yourselves, you could also put a hit out of someone. That seems to be a fair trade for them, apparently. Like, it could be wishy-washy.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but seemingly for most people, money is the main thing that they give.
What did he ask? Like, what was the price that he gave us? Because I remember we said we could pay you, and he said, okay, can you pay us more than this amount?
That was yeah, that was for the doctor when you first met. It was something
The
like
doctor.
yeah, it was a doctor. I think it was like something like 15 or 20,000 or something like that.
Okay, so it's probably a bit more than that now that we've wiped one of them out.
Yeah.
I think Situs told you, like, yeah, the more, it's like, that's, well, one, that's never happened, but also, like, the desire of death now has to be bigger to go after you again.
Right.
Plus, they said
And-
2 this time.
And I talked to Tannen, and he's like, "Oh, we have a big fucking expenditure on this sheet here.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to look into that."
yeah, but yeah, Tannen goes, how much does these assassins run?
Nothing a normal person can afford. Probably more than gold than we have combined right now.
Something like 50,000 gold.
Oh,
That's probably what it's at right now.
He's currently looking at a ledger.
When was the ledger made?
This was from 2 months ago. 50,000 gold for orders of gravestones.
That's cute. She thinks she's clever.
I was thinking to myself, that's a lot of gravestones.
If you go back and look at the other ledgers, are there other mentions of gravestones?
No, well, a few, but like this, like, seemed like normal amount. A couple
Okay.
gold here and there. Tragic, but 50,000, that's like thousands and thousands of gravestones.
Oh, sure. So she decides randomly that she wants to either come after us or some other thing. It could be the Rexans. I don't know. We don't know
Well,
this is for us quite yet, but it probably is.
It's probably is, especially because she sent 2 this time.
Yep. Weird. 2 months have passed since then. They've had ample time to ambush us.
Yeah, they could have.
Oh,
figured
maybe
this
it's
out
because
even.
they
It could have
can't
been
find
easier.
us.
That's true, because you were in your town the whole time, pretty much, right?
Oh, yeah, actually, I wasn't hiding at all, really.
You were hard to reach though in the deep forest like that.
Yeah, but that was over a year ago.
Where were you 2 months ago?
Golmud. I've been in Golmud for most of the year.
Building
They
shit.
had... I've
That's
been...
true.
remember, yeah, built me a ship.
I bet they figured it's a better plan to wait till we're all together again. That is weird. They could have got you already. Like, the rest of us might have known that they were coming, but they could have tried to get one by one. At least you. I don't know if Jenna and Chris were also in vulnerable spots, but it's weird they didn't strike yet.
I'm gonna send to, Halmar. I'm gonna ask, everything holding up there alright? How's the ship?
You hear back from Halimar, who is apparently in the midst of like eating something, so you just it's a mouthful of food in your ear currently. Well, yeah, everything seems to be okay.
Okay.
It seems a little saltier than normal.
Well, they haven't made a move on Golmud, so that's a plus. Yeah,
How many of us
I'm...
are still wearing our amulets of protection?
I think everyone
I
except
have been.
Jenna currently.
Yeah, I thought we only had to wear those when we were in your hometown.
No, yeah, you don't have to. I'm just asking who does. Chris, did you say you did?
Yep.
And Riley, you still do?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, it seems like they were waiting for us to get together.
But we weren't together 2 months ago.
Right, now we are.
How could they have predicted that, though?
I mean, they couldn't have, but
They're probably
They're
just
probably
as a
watching-
waiting game.
yeah. If at least one of us does not have the amulet, they'll find us soon. which I'm not complaining about. I'm just saying that they're going to be on our asses pretty soon.
Well, that's very concerning news. I'll be honest. Is there anything I can do to help, even if it's doing nothing and staying out of the way?
Pretty much just do nothing and stay out of the way.
Lay low. I'm gonna turn to the party and just say we need to leave soon. Then, if we are not all being protected, we can't risk losing Tannen if somebody sees him with us. They're scrying.
Well, why don't you check right now?
Yeah. Okay. I will activate Eye of Truth. What was that, Chris?
I was just gonna ask Tannen if I could have a lock of your hair.
Oh, if he can give you souvenir, of course. And as he begins to rummage through his drawers for like a very elegantly decorated silver knife, as he begins to just cut like a very small lock of his hair off.
It's very trusting.
This is just a safeguard in case things go wrong over here, that we have a way to get you out.
Oh, okay. It's like an emergency, like escape vehicle.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Yes, I think I can trust you with that. I'll trust you with anything, but
Don't do
yeah,
that.
so what do we do about Miss Colley? Just meeting? No meeting? Should I set something up? Maybe I shouldn't set something up in case she gets suspicious of me.
Zero.
Okay, yeah. I'll activate Eye of Truth.
I'll be right back real quick.
Yeah, I think you have to use Eye of Truth to scrying people, right?
Do I? Was that the trade-off?
Yes.
Oh, you can't detect scrying anymore?
I have to use because the scrying eye orb I offered it to Elena, and so now I can scry with my dagger, but I can only do one or the other now.
Yeah, and you have this full clarity and also the effects of Eye of Truth while scrying as well. But yeah, you'd have to use Eye of Truth for that.
But that would just be a charge, right? Or is it one per day?
It's one per day.
No! Well, never mind then.
Yep.
Well, I don't really have any way to detect whether or not we're being scryed on right now,
Yes, we
so...
should probably leave. Where's Lizra right now?
I honestly don't know. She has a house, I presume, somewhere in the city, but again, she keeps that private. She does show up to the office occasionally.
When's the next time she'll be in the office?
Maybe tomorrow.
What time?
She comes in fairly early and leaves somewhat late.
Okay.
Clockwork.
Is there anything in here that I can, out of character, is there anything here I can take with me? Not like steal something valuable, but like a pen or, I don't know,
Oh,
a piece of
there's
paper.
tons of just things like strewn about. Yeah, a lot of stuff on his desk, a lot of stuff on the bookshelves.
I'm gonna pocket something useless from the office here.
Yeah, you find like a souvenir paperweight.
Okay. How does, let me see. How does Twin Eyes work again on the dagger? I've never used it. No, not Twin Eyes. What's the other one? Spying Eye. How does that work again?
You can leave your dagger somewhere, and they can look around that location as if you were there, pretty much. You don't hear anything, but you can see. And you could just pop in anytime you want, as long as the dagger's in that location. And you technically have two now.
So I can, so I can leave one and still have one with me.
Correct.
Oh, fuck yeah. Wait, Tana, does she ever come in here?
Not usually, not directly. She'll send someone and then tell me to walk down to come to her office, but she doesn't usually visit me, no.
I'm gonna turn to the party and I wanna like, I don't want to say it out loud because I'm worried that we're gonna get scared on. I'm going to cast message to Riley. I can spy visually on somebody through one of my daggers now. What if I left it with Tannen and I had him present it or gift it to Lizra tomorrow?
Horrible
Wait,
idea, actually.
Why?
Because that's immediately suspicious, and it damns him if something goes wrong.
That's true.
We lose our in.
Oh, I guess. I'm just trying to see her face.
Oh, we can just. Oh, that's a fair point.
Okay, so are we showing up tomorrow then?
I guess so.
In the middle of the day?
Or at night.
I can delay her if you want me to, and
No.
try to be suspicious about it.
No. I don't
Okay, I'm
think we
back.
should. If giving him the dagger is telling that he's working with us, I think that is too. So I don't think he should do anything. I think we need to just come during the day, which is
Yep.
very risky, yes, but it's like there's no coming here with eliminating the risk while she's here.
True.
What are the teleportation chances that we can actually get it right, since we've been inside of her office before? Like we've it's been a very long time, so we don't have like an item to take from there, but what are
I
the-
do. I have an item taken from there.
Yeah, but I
Not
think
from
that's
the last 6 months or the last like half a year.
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, because we've all physically been there before. We know what it looks like. What are the? I have to look up the.
Yeah,
chart.
it's just a table. So like it's if you've seen it once, it's slightly better. Yeah, but generally the closer you are to the location, the less risk there is.
Oh, we can just stake out then.
That's true. We can come back here tomorrow.
Yeah, there's still a chance you might rip your atoms apart, but you know, it's better than teleporting to the ocean.
But we could also just, like, her office is visible from here, right? It's just like the other building down.
Yeah, her office is next door. Yeah.
Yeah.
We could. I mean, we also could just come during the day and stake out, just so we can physically see her. And when she leaves to go home, we can follow her home.
Okay.
Okie dokie.
Okay, we're backing up.
All right.
I posted the things in main in case y'all want it. Okay.
You use the old tokens.
I didn't.
I mean, the token drafts, like Riley's and Jana's, are not the
Oh, yeah.
finished one.
Because the other finished ones were too powerful.
Were they? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Continue.
My hubris.
Yeah, we were just discussing when to ambush Lizard Caldy.
Yeah, we were saying, if she is this, like, ancient... What's her first name?
I don't remember. I just remember the name Gdaefen. It
Yeah,
rhymes,
Gdaefen.
though.
Yeah, first name Arema, last name Gdaefen.
It does not
Arema.
rhyme. I lied.
If she is Arema, she's probably extremely powerful and also probably extremely prepared for little adventurers like us to roll up on her. So I suggested following her home, and then I immediately regretted that. So I think
She also knows where we are at all times. She's been spying on us since the beginning.
yeah, that's true. I mean, I think it's a little bit harder to watch us now because we're never like on land all the time. But I do agree. I think we had talked about ambushing her in the middle of the day at work tomorrow because we know she'll be here in the office. And we were talking about the chances of us being able to teleport from this office here to her office, like in the next building over. There's still a chance that we'll fuck up and get stuck in the walls, but I think because we're like in proximity, like closer to the place we're trying to get to, we might be okay. Yeah, we haven't made any choices. We're just suggesting things. If you have any ideas for how to get her alone, that doesn't, preferably doesn't involve Tannen, because if she finds out that we're talking to him, she will kill him. Josie?
What? I'm sorry.
Did you hear? No, you're fine.
I was
No,
still
we were
kind of
just
messing
making-
around with stuff.
Oh no, you're fine. We were just making plans for ambushing Lizard Caldy. Do you have any suggestions or ideas? Any oppositions?
I trust what the group does. Sorry, I was in chaos mode for a couple seconds.
You're good.
I don't have any better alternatives. I think, yeah, just getting the element of surprise, surprising her at work is for the best.
I think
Is
so.
there a window into her office?
There's a window in the hallway to the top floor, not necessarily in the office itself.
Just to
Okay.
clarify, we want to ambush her, not just be in her office when she's gone.
No, yeah, we
Yeah.
want to, I think, talk to her, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess, okay, now that we're all back, in character, I'm going to ask Tannen, does she have bodyguards that travel with her?
Weirdly, no. Not usually. She likes her privacy. It seems counterproductive in some ways. I have a bodyguard, even. No, she tends to travel.
Fellow, that guy.
Sorry, what was it?
Nice fellow, that guy.
He is nice. I do like him. He's a scary-looking fellow, but he's well, that's why I hired him. He's actually quite amiable.
Where is he, like, right now? Why wasn't he here?
Oh, he still needs to sleep. The evenings are for eating and resting. I have still work to do, and frankly, I just like the privacy.
We are so lucky we're the Zodiacs. This would be unforgivable in any other circumstance.
Have we... Okay, from the window... Because there's windows here. It's the window in his office right now is facing the street, right?
Yes.
So we don't... From here, we don't have sight of the window on the other building. That's in the
No.
hallway. Okay.
Yeah, the only window here is the one facing the street.
Does she keep her office door open while she's inside?
No, that is closed unless someone has a meeting and she opens it herself somehow. Sometimes she comes downstairs to the middle floor. There's like a neutral grounds. Occasionally, for more private affairs, people go up to the office directly.
Because if she's in her office, we cannot get in there any other way except knock, and that draws a lot of attention. We can find a way to sneak into the building, and I can disguise myself as Tannen and almost like lure her down. I just don't want to actually involve Tannen. Like directly have him ask her to come down or something.
Could we not teleport in, or was there a magical barrier?
Not to my knowledge, it's just the chances of us succeeding they're not low, it's a bit of a gamble.
No, I mean, like, we go up to the front there, and then we just dimension door in.
What do you mean up to the front? Up to the magic door in the hallway?
Yeah,
Yeah, we could.
you can just cruise by on invisibility until then.
Can we, what direction is the window facing, Simon? The one in the hallway?
Same one, facing the street as well. But that connects just to the hallway itself, and not actually the room, the office. Same floor though.
So if we are on the roof of the building across, we can see into the window in the hallway?
Yes.
Okay, so we could do the same thing and dimension door into the hallway, and then, yeah, like Riley said, dimension door into the office, and then... I think all we're trying to do is talk to her. It's not like we're trying to beat her ass, but...
Especially because apparently she's not a combatant.
That I'm aware of.
Something
No.
about the fact that she doesn't have bodyguards gives me a feeling that we don't want to pick a fight just yet.
Well, there's only one of her and 4 of us. Even if we're, if she's equal in strength to us, I imagine it's just to one of us. So we probably still have the upper hand, but, we're not trying to lose people here. Even if they are Liz Ricaldi.
Yeah, and she knows how powerful we are by now. She, at least from the fact alone that we killed a gravekeeper, and she knows there's four of us. If she felt that it was a threat, if all four of us ran up on her at the same time, she would have done something to, prepare for that. So if she doesn't have a bodyguard, I'm still not convinced that she's not prepared to take all four of us at once. I don't know. There's nothing we can do about that. I'm just saying.
I guess we'll find out tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so the plan is I sit here and keep my trap shut, and just cover my ears and go la 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 while you interrogate Miss Caldy.
Something to that effect.
Do you have a photo of her, Tannen?
No, I'm not I don't have a heart-shaped locket with her portrait in it or anything, but again, private person. She tries to leave as little of a footprint as possible. I can
Well,
describe her.
Yeah, that's probably for the best.
Okay. No, she's a human woman, about say 5'6". Older. Her hair is graying. She keeps it long and styles it very fluidly across the right shoulder. Keeps it bound at the ends. Hates dresses. She does not like dresses. She wears like a suit usually, like a business suit. Hazel eyes. Doesn't really have any discernible marks. Just from afar, she just looks like any just standard person on the street, other than the business gear.
Does she have any habits or any weird quirks about her that stand out to you?
She's a little paranoid. I think we've established this. She's exceedingly careful, exceedingly methodical.
So she's prepared for something to happen.
Well, I've always assumed she has a plan for something. She does not like being caught off guard. I know this much.
Well, it was pretty difficult for us to even connect the dots between Silverwind and the drug trade to begin with, so she covers her tracks well.
I mean, I didn't even know about it until you told me.
As Sam character, is there anything else we need from him, or do you think we can get out of here?
I think we can probably leave at this point, because let's see, we discussed the threat, we discussed what she has been doing to us, we discussed what we've been doing. I don't think, we've no information on the commission, a little bit of information on Teague, and their relationship with Sylnia. I don't think we really need anything else, because do our characters understand that the Rias government is corrupt, or yeah, we would, because we've directly dealt with it. So
yeah, you've dealt with some corruption here and there.
Yeah, so that doesn't really, we already know that. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else we can really learn.
Unless we want him to do some digging for us.
I don't know how comfortable I feel with that just yet. Just because if he gets caught, he's done for.
Yeah,
In
it
terms of,
really
like,
depends on the kind of digging, because he should probably stay out of Silverwind affairs. And
we could
maybe
do digging while we're interrogating her.
I mean, it's already bad enough that, we have to be the bearer of bad news and explain that this businesswoman he's trusted for God knows how long is actually, hiding some pretty serious stuff from him. Never once confided in her number two. That's rough.
My girlfriend turned into the moon.
It's rough, buddy.
Again, if need anything at all, I am at your complete disposal as official Xodiacs deputy.
Don't get too attached to that badge. It's just a fabrication. We'll have to make something for real.
I can do some information, just light. Nothing. I'm not gonna go all super agent and do rolls through filing cabinets. Just
Yeah,
anything you need me.
that's best left to us.
Yeah, I mean, not to be crass, but your, let's say, public reputation is not the greatest at the current time.
What's everybody saying?
Nothing's said, just I know you're wanted, and seemingly from me, you've had a lot of escapades where you have made people angry. So,
Yeah.
I understand if you need to work from the shadows and just keep things hush-hush. You just teleport straight to my office, avoiding any appointments or anything like that, and I get it. I understand, and honestly, it's kind of a welcome surprise. But if you need someone on the, let's say, sunnier side, I can be that person.
Yeah, we'd say just stay safe. Look into what you want to. I'm sure there's a bunch of information you have access to that would benefit both of us, so that's good. But don't dig, too far that suspicion starts to be arisen. Because we'll find out what we can tomorrow.
Or die trying.
Pretty much.
Well, I would say don't die. Please don't die. I just got your autographs.
It'll be worth even more after we die. What do you mean?
I mean, true, but it's not the money I care about. It's the values of it. It's the intrepid spirit that you all have, I think. I read these novels and adventure stories, and it's like a little escape from inventory sheets. So just meeting honest to the gods adventurers is always just a... Yeah, I'll just come out and say it. I live vicariously through your deeds.
That's fair enough. I also lived vicariously through people's stories until finally I decided to leave me home. Set out, find me target, and well, a lot's happened since then that I did not plan for.
Is that a secret? Should I just up and leave?
Well, I mean, you're pretty comfy right now, I imagine. Maybe, wait and see what happens tomorrow.
Right, well, seems the events of the future hinges on what happens on the morrow. That sounds straight from a book. Well, if there's anything else you need me for, you know where to find me.
Yep.
Shall we leave him to his night then, gang?
I think we shall.
Alrighty.
Are we ready?
Well, where are we going? Back to base is probably not a great idea since we need to be back here tomorrow, but I don't know. I'm good to camp out.
Yeah, I'm happy to do that. I think come daytime we're gonna have to find what is I guess in character, what is the building across the street for?
It just looks like another, company building. It's not part of Silverwind, if that's what you're asking.
What if we break into that building?
What, as a hideout?
Let me ask Tannen in character. The buildings across the street, are those currently occupied? Like, do they get used daily, or are they?
Oh yeah, they're just one of the company. Appleseed Woodworkery, I believe. It's a smaller, I don't say carpentry company. They make chairs, tables. It's part storage warehouse, part actual wood shop, I suppose.
Can we camp out in your office?
Well, of course. I mean, I don't think I have any appointments tomorrow, so if you'd like. And no one really comes up to my office. Well, they do, but I'll yell at them through the door to leave me alone.
Well,
Do you
I
stay
also-
the night in your office?
No, not usually. I'm just a little late today. A little paperwork to do. Just catching up.
Well, if we can just teleport back here, we should probably just pick a time to begin camp, like staking out. Like, roughly what time does she show up?
She comes in the morning, roughly about 5, 6 a.m., and she leaves around 6-ish p.m. It's a long day.
So if we wanted to get a long rest, we could come back here at 4. And then just begin watching.
sure. Although, no, we shouldn't.
No?
Because if she is indeed scrying on Jenna, and Jenna's here tomorrow, she could very easily just come here. Actually, hold on. She's scrying on us now. Then maybe we should stay here just to make sure Tannen's safe. There's a lot of ifs.
Yeah, I do see your point. I do want him to stay safe. That's why I was like, where is she right now so we can go find her, so she doesn't have any time to to prepare for us or time to like, yeah, have Tannen killed or something. So I think if we're already here in person and she happens to scry on us right now and she knows we're here, then I do agree that we should probably stay with Tannen until we speak to her. Following that, I don't know what we have to do with Tannen. Once she finds out, if she finds out that Tannen's working with us, I don't know what to do with Tannen at that point. He can't stay here.
I feel like she's scrying on us this close.
That's why I got his hair.
Josie?
If she's scrying on us this closely, she's just like obsessed, and just let her be obsessed.
Who knows? Maybe she's a fan of us as well. And she just wanted to test our skills by sending an assassin after us.
Fan behavior.
She wants your bones to mount on her Xodiacs altar.
Like, I could reattune to the anti-scrying thing, but I feel like at this point in the game, it's like, I don't know. Fucking sucks to be paranoid all the time about what somebody could be doing, potentially.
Yeah, that's fair. It's just, I don't know. I do it more so, not because I'm like worried about us getting caught or us getting spied on, but it's like we cross paths with a lot of people that can't defend themselves. And the assassin, the doctor, already took advantage of that and he wiped out an entire tavern. And in the same like vein as like that, they just got paid to come after us again. There's a possibility that they just got paid to come after us again. And now I'm worried about Golmud and anyone else that Sight and Onslaught might have seen us with this entire time. So it's not really like for, I don't know, I don't do it for me, I do it for the people that don't need to get hurt because of us.
That's my thoughts exactly.
So we could do a tiny hut in the office.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
Is that what you do?
Yeah, may as well. And I'll peek my head out once I'm done and be like, how's it look from the outside?
Oh, well, it looks like a big red dome.
No, I tried. Well, I wanted not colored. I wanted opaque. Or was it transparent? Transparent. That's the one.
It looks like a big transparent bubble.
Would it arouse suspicion on first glance, or would somebody have to do a double take?
It's a small office, so yes.
That's not great, but it's all we have.
Well, I mean, I can turn away anyone that would be coming up here for most of the day once I get back in the office tomorrow. And if you're going to be gone by then, well, it won't matter in the end.
How good are you? How good are you at protecting yourself? Because you took a magic missile from Chris pretty well, so that's good. But also, if you leave the office and they've been scrying on us or you,
I took a few classes.
Would you like a night in the mansion, in my humble abode?
I was thinking that too, just so we can all be safe from scrying, and he can also just be within our eye shot.
I mean, it seems so soon.
You get to meet another one of our comrades there, but you can bring a book. There's a little library you can sit at.
Well, if you're offering, I think it'd be remiss of me to turn down an invitation from one of the members of the Zodiacs. Yes, of course I'll spend a night in your mansion. How do I smell? I think because just like very obviously just whiffing parts of his body.
you won't have to worry about that. There's luxury beyond comprehension in there.
Yeah.
And it's also weird. It's very weird. Just prepare yourself for weird.
Well, I guess this marks the beginning of my adventuring life.
It's an unrealistic expectation to start with, I think. Just understand that it won't be like this from the onset.
Well, okay, so where is this mansion? Yeah, you rented out, or maybe bought, I suppose, with all the money you've made. The mansion in Bethus?
No, it's we'll go in here in the tiny hut.
Yeah, as you walk through the tiny hut. Yeah, as you just cast the mansion spell, the door appears. Ah, magnificent mansion. I see, I see. I've heard of this spell, but I haven't been in one. I thought it was a legend or something.
It's a challenging spell to cast, but with a lot of practice you can do it.
I dabble. I won't say I'm good, but maybe one day. Well, after you, it's your abode.
In we go.
Yeah, as you go in and you have a bunch of merrics. You just have whatever dinner you'd like, and just Tannen enjoys pretty much most of all the luxury inside there. He goes to the library as I've instructed. Goes through all the books, and they're books you've read before, but to him it's all fresh, and he's just like, even after you all go to bed, he's still sort of ping-ponging around the mansion, just taking it all in some ways.
When we go inside the mansion, I want to leave Azek I want to leave him inside the bubble, but I want him to just kind of stand next to the door and just watch the room in case anyone shows up tomorrow. Like, I don't think he can telepathically communicate with me through the door, which is fine. I just want him to be the one to see it so he can let me know.
Okay. Yeah, as you leave Azek up there, he's the sentry. You can see outside, and it's still a big bubble in the middle of the office, so if someone walks in, it'll be very obvious, if they can get in at least. You have like 3 layers of protection now. You have the office building, the actual office itself, the bubble, then the mansion. So you are the most protected people on the planet at this current time. Yeah. You make add 10 in a room, which after a good number of hours just hanging out and bothering you mostly, you eventually all find sleep. Yeah, I think we'll take a break there for now. I need to go to the bathroom.
Solid.
Okay.
It's my bad. I was confused. I thought
Sure.
I didn't know if we wanted to see it or anything.
Just so it said, I completely blanked, did not start the recording until right now.
It's okay. It's okay.
I'll just start mid-sentence.
It's okay. I was rambling anyway.
Yeah. Just planning. Planning with tannin.
I knew you were going to say that.
You didn't see me, but I just did the whip just now.
I believe you.
Well, the office building's only really like 30, 40 feet away, so at least well, the alley is incredibly close, but 30, 40 feet just to the left, and you'll likely make it to her office if you're teleporting from mine.
I'll take your word for it. I think we could probably get into the office if we're roughly that length away.
Yeah. I want to make sure she doesn't know that we were in the office, though, because, again, I just don't want to involve Tannen if we can help it.
Well, I don't think you left any piles or tracks. It'll be easy enough to clean up. And my lips are sealed, you know this.
We're already jumping into the belly of the beast, so this is pretty much as bad as it can get.
That's true. Whatever happens, happens.
Won't be the first belly of the beast we've been in.
Don't remind me.
So, is, Operation Beat Up Caldy a go?
I don't know if we're beating her up yet. Kind of just want to talk things out.
Is Operation Speak Harshly with Miss Caldy a go?
That, I think, is.
Were we spending all night in Tiny Hut, or were we just here for a couple hours?
We were all night, yeah, I think.
Can I reattune to the anti-scrying thing?
Okay. Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, too many magic items these days. Yeah, but easy enough. Right, as you all leave the confines of the mansion, you exit out into the tiny hut, the transparent dome that's currently just pretty much sat in the middle of this office, and the office looks untouched. Azek didn't see anything. And Tannen sort of just goes, well, I'll just say I slept in my office. Early day. So I'll sit here and pretend I don't know what's going on. He sort of checks a pocket watch. Miss Caldy, 6 o'clock, should be in the office by now. I don't know if she has a meeting, but this early in the morning, likely not.
Well,
Will it be her first meeting then?
A surprise meeting. Oh. One of the worst ways to start a morning, I think. Well, good luck. Go ruin her day.
Absolutely.
I'd love to hear the story afterwards.
Oh, this'll be one for the ages. Unless nothing happens. Well, should we head out then?
Yep. Either nothing happens or we blow up the city.
Let's maybe keep the city blowing up to a minimum.
Before we teleport, I'm gonna go invisible again.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Okay.
All right.
So they're all dimensioning dooring like 40 feet to the left.
Where are my spell slots? I just need to make sure I have everything. Okay, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, as Tannen sort of like pointing in the rough direction where the office is, you all just are those casting dimension doors, think 30, 40 feet that direction, and you all disappear and then reappear within the exact same office, more or less as before. Yeah, just a red carpeted room, bearskin rug, cabinet, the wine cabinet even, and just the it was almost identical, just bigger to the other, the Tannen's office, maybe a little less gaudy, less animal skins, less bookshelves, but same stuff, and also the very intricate safe that I believe Zero picked one time, with like the tri-helical key, just dimly lit. There's no one else in this room except a human woman in a chair, in a desk, with some circular spectacles just on the bridge of her nose. Pretty much exactly how Tannen described, just a older human woman, gray, long hair, just kept somewhat tight and then sort of drapes over the right shoulder and bound with kind of like this braided silver cord that's intertwined throughout her hair, and just tied at the end to keep it all taut. And just a very dark charcoal suit, more or less. Hates lies and just looks up from whatever paperwork she's reading currently at the three of you currently visible now in the office.
And her reaction is just to stare?
For like 5 seconds, she just looks up as just looking at all of you, and then she just slowly puts down the piece of paper, takes off the spectacles, folds it, and then places it on the desk. Suppose this meeting was bound to happen sooner or later. I know who you are, you know me. Let's get to the point. What do you want? It's either to kill me or to talk.
Yeah, talking would be preferable, I think.
Good. I'll allow one, not both. Speak.
As adventuring groups do, you know, we go out, we find out stuff about the world through one mean or another. I guess the main thing is we want to know why the drug trade and why innocent people. It feels like there's better ways.
Better ways of what?
Transporting large quantities of arcanium, presumably to fuel this Project Thunderhead, which that's another can of worms.
She sort of freezes, not like panics, but just sort of pauses for a moment on you, Riley, as you see Project Thunderhead. So I see your fingers have dipped further into the pie. As to be expected.
Well, do the words Tistrain Alahai? However you say that thing. Did those words mean...
Tistreda Nalahai.
Yeah. Did those words mean anything to you?
No. Well, not to me. That's the original name for it.
So you're aware of the Archon's plans, like 1,000 years ago?
Is there a point to this meeting, or is it just an interrogation?
What we
Or
have
is
been
it-
attempting to do is amass the resources and the power to combat a threat that is to descend upon us from between the stars. And considering that's what the Archon was also attempting to do, mind you, with much blood on her hands, I just don't want history to repeat.
I don't know who this Archon you keep speaking of is. But I don't see what the fate of the world has to do with me.
So this is just business for you then?
Everything in life is. Supply and demand, we just provide it.
Is there any way we can persuade you to quit toying with people's lives as a result?
She sort of leans forward. Is that what it's all about? A overdeveloped sense of heroics.
Well, we are trying to save the world, so pretty much.
Make a persuasion check.
Persuasion. Ooh, that's pretty good.
See, I thought maybe the ones responsible for disrupting the chain of supply, demand of product was a rival. They usually are. When I heard it was adventuring party, I thought maybe they were hired out by someone. It appears I failed to believe, or allow myself to believe, that something so simple could be the reason. If I agree to stop using live shrouds, is that it? The end of our conflict?
I'm gonna look at the group and say, is that good enough? I mean, the whole Project Thunderhead is still a thing, but at least, no more kidnappings, no more selling into slavery.
Can I insight check?
Make an insight check.
It's not gonna be good, but
Hard to read.
It depends on what Project Thunderhead is for.
The Thunderhead Project. It was a pipe dream until it wasn't. A flying city. Nearly complete already when we found it. Just following rumor mill's gossip. Whatever scrap of paper we could find that survived the last millennia. Eventually, it was rediscovered by us. No one knew what it was, but we found pieces of plans, and eventually I hired scholars, engineers, workers, anything to get it back up and running. It could be a weapon, could just be a flying city, just that. Either way, I'd be in command of it. If it's a weapon, well, there's more than one way to use a weapon. Any sufficient power can be used as leverage. And if it's just a flying city, it still works out anyway. Safe port away from authority that's no one could possibly reach except those I choose. Little micro country of my making.
Okay, as bad as it seems to give, what she just described to her as leader, I think we could probably iron out a deal here. For you see, If you are finding the original, which I presume is somewhere in Dusamar, chances
Go on.
are the weapon is already there, simply waiting to be used. I presume my idea is that if the weapon is indeed on the city right now, it is needed to save Tide Grey. And so I would ask that you use it there first.
Make a persuasion check.
Oh, that's bad.
She leans forward, arms, hands together, just resting her head on it. Her face hasn't really changed pretty much this entire conversation. It's very stern. It's emotionless, almost. Just a slight eyebrow furrow and nothing else. I don't think you get to tell me what I do with it. You did not put the resources into it. You did not find it. If I agree and I choose to use it against this great threat, so be it, but don't tell me what to do.
That's about as good as I can ask for.
Without high grade, you have no business.
Well, I'm pretty sure she's smart enough to understand that, Chris. Seems like a pretty easy conclusion to come to. In fact, I'm confident you will use it the way we would like it to be used, simply because you have no other choice. And if it means removing our command from the situation, I think that's fine too. I would like the lives of people to be unperturbed. And like you said, a country all to your own up in the sky where only the select few can reach you. As long as it doesn't bother us on the ground, I can't object to that.
Simon, is she wearing any jewelry?
She is actually. There's a pendant around her neck, which looks a little familiar.
I had a feeling. May I?
Make a sleight of hand check.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, she
I
has
am invisible right now.
yeah. So it's a 30. Okay, she has good perception, but not that good. Yeah. Yeah. It takes a little effort actually, because she keeps it very guarded. It's like underneath. Like you can just barely make out like the band around her neck, and it's like tucked in like underneath her shirt. So it takes some doing to actually get it out, and everything on her is like fairly tightly closely bound to her, so like it's quite a task even for you. But eventually, yeah, you do manage to sneak out the pendant from around her neck.
Yeah.
So, what is this great threat that you keep talking about?
It is a conqueror of worlds. From what we understand, it comes from somewhere so far away we can't even fathom it. It landed in our realm, crash landed, it seems, and began devouring us. This was thousands of years ago, during the Void Era. That's, when the old gods and the First Fire banded together to fight against them. From what we understand, there was a small victory, one that gave us enough reprieve to rebuild up to this point. The Archon of Hora at the time, Arema Gadeafin, decided we can't allow them to continue, and so she began the thunderstorm that brings flowers. Very ironic that it would be brought back in such a way. But she failed, and then she resigned herself to wander the lands. Many a time she has told us to give up on saving this realm. And we stubbornly refuse to do so, because we think it's savable. But the enemy corrupts. It corrupts, it assimilates, it takes us and molds us into a form unrecognizable, and then tortures our souls. So, not something we want around, that's for sure.
So, assuming I get the Thunderhead project up and running, what do I use it against? Do you know?
We have an idea. He'll point towards the sky. That funny orb thing that, shines at night. That appears to be their base.
Yeah, she's just sort of looking out the window, still keeping attention on the three of you stood there, body facing forward. To her eyes sort of dart out though, as eventually closes back in the focusing on you. You want me to shoot the moon?
It's probable.
Well, if you want the Thunderhead project to continue to come to fruition, I still need funds. I still need Arcanium, Arcanite. I'll still need the trafficking trade until then. Unless you're willing to help.
I'll turn back to the group again and say, is this the path we want to take?
Is there anything I can hide behind in the room?
Is not as dark. The sun is rising at this point, so the shadows aren't quite there. And all the other obstructions are pretty much up against the wall. You can try.
Like if I did a similar thing I was trying to do last time where I ducked behind the desk.
You can try.
Will I still be able to see her?
It has a very similar desk. So you want not underneath, but you can try to peek around maybe.
No, I won't risk it.
Okay, doing anything?
I'm just...
I think
Why do we keep making deals with shitty people? We always end up here.
Yeah, but this one can actually help us achieve
Not if we
the
just
goal.
take it from her.
That's true, too.
Here's where I stand. I haven't said anything because I'm still invisible, but I don't know how willing I am to negotiate with somebody who knows what they've been doing. We've saved children with drugs inside of them. She does not care, and it was never for a cause. It was for her
Money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
So
don't-
she's kind of irredeemable.
At this point, yeah, that's where I'm I'm not saying, oh, we should outright kill her. I'd like to turn her into the authorities if we can find means of doing so, proof and stuff, but,
She literally just said, I will permit one or the other to kill me or to speak. Or rather, she said, "I will permit one, not the other."
No,
She is
one, not
confident.
both.
Yeah, she is confident, at least, that she can either hold us at bay or something.
There's multiple aspects to this. Well, the one is that the commission is already on. Well, they're interested in more so the invader stuff, but they're also a rival of Silverwind. And so it is yeah, if we let her go, like if we actually asked her to help and she only cares about money, it's very probably easy for the invaders to persuade her in the direction just based on greed
Yeah.
and that sort of thing, because they kind of tried to do that to me.
To all of us. That's a
They
fair
used it
point.
to buy
Did-
bombs.
Did Chris say that in character, or is that Mills talking?
Yeah, I would have said the part in terms of like the greed.
I want to read her mind so bad, but I don't. I want to do it with advantage, and I don't have anything to hide behind.
Well, what's the worst that could happen? She's already like, I already failed to persuade her to help us. So like,
Can I hide behind her?
You'd try. You'd be out of you'd be out of her eye shot.
Because like, okay, tell me how this works. If I'm invisible and a invisibility drops when I cast a spell, do I still get the benefits of having been invisible when I went to cast a spell? Because then I would have technically been hidden.
Even if you were behind her and like stealthed okay, you'd still probably be hidden. Even for like the brief moment that you needed to be.
Okay, I would like to hide behind her then.
Okay. Make a stealth check to see how just general quietness, because you are now pretty danger close to her. Alright. Okay. Okay, so you get up right up behind her as you begin to cast the spell, and you are quiet as a mouse. Barely any ruffle in the like carpeted floor here. As you begin to cast the spell, you see just one of her ears just prick up as she sort of turns back towards you and just makes eye contact with you guys cast it.
That's fine.
Yeah, she doesn't do anything, but she does not have advantage on this one.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, what are the effects of detect thoughts if it fails? Or if it succeeds? Or if they make a saving
What do you
throw?
mean if she succeeded?
It just the spell just ends, right?
If you probe deeper, the target must make a wisdom saving throw. If it fails, you gain an insight into the reasoning, if any, its emotional states, blah, blah, blah. If it succeeds, the spell ends. Either way, the target knows that you're probing into its mind, and unless you shift your attention to another creature's thoughts, the creature can use its action to on its turn to make an intelligence check contested by your intelligence check. Wait, what? Can make an
Okay.
intelligence check contested by your intelligence check. If it succeeds, the spell ends. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, so you cast
I don't know
these.
what this end part means. I don't know what that means.
You cast a spell, but you don't get any further insight on what her thoughts are. But the spell doesn't end necessarily. It just means she's now aware that you're reading her mind. And the spell ends normally unless she decides to try to challenge you mentally to do it. Yeah, but she does succeed on the saving throw.
May as well
As-
get those surface thoughts.
Yeah, you do get the surface thoughts. You just don't get to probe deeper into it.
That's fine.
Yeah, you get the surface thoughts. In the midst of this conversation, in the terms of the potential of the deal you're making, the surface thoughts appear to be just more logic puzzles than anything. Like she's trying to piece together what her possible moves are. You're not sure what those possible moves are, but she's trying to find logical pathways of what to do next. Yeah, as you cast a spell, become visible, and you're just standing right next or behind her, and she just turns one eye over to you, just looking over her shoulder. And there's the fourth.
I'll just give a polite smile.
Deal or no deal?
Zero, your call. This is a democracy. Honestly, just for sake of convenience, my vote is for the deal, but I will go with whatever the group decides.
I'm speaking to Riley, but I'm looking straight at her. I do want to walk a bit more in front so I can make eye contact with her, and I'm just going to say, I don't know how smart it is to make deals with somebody who is willing to let children die and go into slavery for a fucking country. I don't know where the greed ends. I can't really feel like we can trust a person like this.
So, I
Can
presume...
I... Sorry. You can go. Go ahead.
Oh, good.
I was just going to say, can I roll an intimidation check as I say that?
She's not intimidated by you.
Yeah, okay.
So I presume no deal then.
Still two more voices unaccounted for.
Well, what is it that you'd like us to help you with? Exactly. You say you need arcanium, but how much?
Industrial amounts. Let's say put you into acquisitions. It's nearly complete. He thundered ahead. But it's still the size of a city. Work to be done, materials to be gathered. Rare, expensive. I have my sources. But if I have a group of adventurers capable of dealing me damage, well, maybe the work will pass faster. Maybe in time for this threat you keep yammering on about.
I'm going to cast message, and I'll just say this to Riley. If we make this deal with her, and we provide her with what she needs from us, she will then be more powerful than us by the end of this.
I mean, control of an entire country, one that is unbound by the laws of the ground level, is a little bit scary. And the only way to stop it, is to eliminate her. It seems, because she is steadfast. My main concern, I mean, this can still benefit. We can still save the world this way, but I guess the real question is that how we want to save the world?
I'll cast it again, and I will ask Riley, what if we pretend to agree to do this with her, just so we can find out the location of the island?
I already know where it is. We don't need to do that.
How do you know where it is?
So Yule and I we're
Right,
doing
right.
stakeout. Yeah.
Sorry, I haven't listened to your session then. I yeah, I've said where I stand on this.
I will go no deal.
So let's do it.
What was that?
I say let's do it.
A split decision. This is unprecedented.
A really weird split at that too. I did not expect this to be. I didn't expect us to be, like me and Chris, to be on this side of the split.
Have I finally confounded the legendary Xodiacs?
Ah, well, we're only legends because you made us into them.
He sort of gives you like a really like dirty glare.
Guess Giorgio's the split.
George, he is the fifth member of the Zodiacs.
We each stand on each side and call a name, and whoever he goes to.
Just gonna go to Jana's side.
Not if the other person has food.
Sergio,
I have a lot of fish.
Ooh,
you guys are on the same side.
Yeah.
it's stacked.
Do you want to rock, paper, scissors it? Is there a way to do that online?
The
Just out
fate of this-
curiosity?
The fate of this deal decided by the rock, paper, scissors.
You
I
could-
think. Why don't we just talk it out more?
I don't
Something's
feel
ought to
super
buckle eventually.
strongly. I guess I was just trying to take action. Was my thinking.
Can I just can I, because if the spell's still going, can I still listen to her like service thoughts?
It'd only
when
be a
she
minute
makes
long.
A save, does it just? I can't do anything. With her
the,
anymore.
the spell continues and you still get service thoughts, but you just can't probe deeper into the reasoning or anything. Service thoughts are still very calculated, like the you don't see the logic pathways, but you can feel her trying to make tactical decisions, and she's thinking of possible moves, whether it's agreement or not, but don't know what those moves are.
Here's the question. Assume things become a little bit more inconvenient and the shipments of Arcanium are slowed down because you're obviously changing delivery methods. What benefit does it give you to have the Thunderhead project completed so quickly? Is it really that important that it can't go on a small hiatus?
Have you tried repairing a city yourself, brick by brick, and maybe doing without instructions or experience, just by yourself, all your lonesome? Well, have you?
Can't say I have.
Good. You can try. Any normal person trying to repair a city with no instructions, barely any recollection of what their building is, would be dead in their lifetime. I want to see the Thunderhead soar before I'm in the dirt.
More alike than you think. That is an excessively simple answer.
maybe I'm excessively simple. Maybe the conniving person you think I am is not true.
Zero gives like a little snort laugh.
That most certainly is true. I mean, look at the results. But, well, everybody has their reasons, regardless of what they may be. Hmm. Well, for our purposes, I would actually like to see the Thunderhead project completed, but... the methods currently rub me the wrong way. Right. What is... no, that's...
I'm just gonna look at her and speak up and just say, and what are you gonna do if we just take it from you? We know where it is.
That's the same question. Have you tried building a city brick by brick with your bare hands by yourself?
Sure, but you have what? Money and resources,
Which can pay for services and people.
right? We're working with gods, so I have a bit more faith.
Ever go tell the hammer? Delivered supplies. Or they're going to miracle you a new weapon, a new flying city.
My god is literally a fish. I
His
don't
god's
even...
literally a fish. See, I don't think you understand how the real world works. Ignoring your flying pie in the sky threat, even if it is true, people on the ground do things. Whether they are guided by God or greed or any other reason, it is a person's hands that do it. People want things. They'll always want things. Supply and demand. Silverwind supplies them to their demand. As long as that exists, people can be controlled. You control people, you control everything else. You could take it from me, sure. But you won't have the people, you won't have supply. It will be you in an empty city.
And if we made maybe like the leaders of Sylmia or other countries aware of it, those that do have the manpower to do something with it.
Well, they have supply and demand too. Especially leaders, they always have demand. You make Sylmia aware of it, they're going to wage a war. And how many of your precious little lives are going to be lost in that?
Yeah, that's a bad idea.
Sylmia cares about one thing that's new and shiny toys. You tell them about the Thunderhead project, they're going to want the new shiny toy. The king, Berharcido, is a fool. I don't think he'll know what he wants to do with it. But whatever it is, that'll be an actual toy with them. He'll probably blow up another city just for fun. Demand. Everyone has them. Keep them in check, and you'll control. I have control. If I'm eliminated from the picture, you don't have that control. You don't have connections. Don't have the resources. So yes, you could take it from me. But then your Thunderhead project won't, well, bear fruit in time to whatever it is you want it for.
What exactly do you plan to do with control? What is your utopia look like?
There's always a pecking order. I want to be at the top. There's always some king, someone that wants to undermine you. I want to be above it, quite literally. You can't stop crime. You just can't. Again, supply and demand. If someone can't meet their demand, they just take it. Crime. Currently, I do both. Control on both sides of the board.
I agree
more,
that you can't stop crime, but you could minimize it.
I'm more for out of control.
And that is possibly the only thing that frightens me.
What do the Rexons do for you? What do you need them for?
I don't think that's any of your business.
Hmm.
I think at this point, either direction is fine with me.
Hmm. Because here's what I'm thinking. She's an unscrupulous actor, wants to be above it all, blah blah blah, rich person, blah blah blah. She knows we know now. Which means the Gravekeepers, they're gonna want us.
Yeah,
If we
Good.
I think we kind of just cornered ourselves here. Because we're gonna have to deal with onslaught after onslaught. She is going to fucking fight tooth and nail for this project to see fruition. So we have to decide whether or not we take what is essentially the moral high ground and get the innocents out of the drug trade and just help, or deal with whatever the fuck comes next if we don't do that. I know
think
Zero's down to throw down, but
I
I'm
am
just
not-
I'm thinking about the consequences of everything, and this is rough.
I mean, I don't agree that that's the moral high ground at all. That's why I said I was surprised that you guys took that side at all, because I was like, I would never think that you guys would make a deal with somebody like this. After everything we've seen throughout the entire campaign, what she's done, what she's been willing to do, like, I understand that she is in a position of power right now where she has what we want, but at the same time, it's like, I'm like, how do we even know that we can trust her on her offer? Like,
That's
she does
fair.
not care about anyone.
Fucker.
All right, well, you've heard our piece. You know what we're after. We don't want some grand disillusion of Silverwind as a rival. We just want people to be able to live in peace. That's all. So if that means we butt heads again, we're steadfast in our resolution.
it could be beneficial to get this project going.
Are you changing teams now?
You know, I think there's opportunity for, I guess, a little what's the best word to put this in? Just opportunity. Either direction is fine by me, but
If we make this deal with her and we tell her, yeah, okay, yes, we'll help you, get your project Thunderhead to completion here. In exchange, you no longer, take part in the drug trade and then trafficking of people. Like, what am I trying to say? I don't know. How do we know she's gonna like hold up on her end?
Well, she knows how dangerous we are. We've already killed one gravekeeper. What's a few more?
This is out of character. Also, I didn't say this in character.
Oh, okay. Well, at a certain
At this
point, there's a
point, are
sunken
we-
cost fallacy, right? Like, imagine spending several tens of thousands of gold on someone to, like, on a gravekeeper, and then your target just kills them anyway. Like, that's a lost investment. You gotta cut your losses at some point, or you're bleeding money. Especially when... do you mind if I take the floor? This could jeopardize everything if I'm not careful.
What are you gonna say?
I'm gonna say something like, hey, listen, you already tried to eliminate us, get us out of the, the way once, and should you send more assassins after us, chances are we'll just beat them up as well. Especially because we'd have more resource. We are significantly more powerful and well prepared than we were last time. So at a certain point, you have to understand that you're bleeding yourself dry here. You're wasting money on getting rid of a problem that you created, or getting rid of a problem that you created. If you had just not used the slave trade to begin with and just focused on the drugs, there would be no quarrel here.
I don't see anything wrong with that. Go for it.
But, well, hold on, that wording is fine, but then Zero would probably pipe up and say, well, hold on. This person, you're, even with that guaranteed, we're still acquiescing the power of, the Thunderhead project entirely to her. So I think that's the debate right now.
I mean, even
Because I think no matter what, we can probably stop the trade.
Yeah. No, I think even in character, I do think I'm reaching a point where I am kind of understanding that, yeah, even if we killed her. Right. First of all, this is metagaming. I'm not going to apply this to anything, but I don't think it's going to be that easy to kill her.
Probably not.
But even if we fully stopped her and stopped her from doing anything else, someone else is just going to pick up the torch. And as much as it pains me to allow her to receive this, like, win, like, it pisses me off. I'd hate her with all my heart. And I know you guys do too. I'm not saying you guys are soft on her, but
yeah, this is not an alliance. This is a ceasefire.
yeah, I think I'm just like, I loathe her, but I do understand that, like, yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's a right answer anymore.
There isn't.
So you just
Pick our poison.
I trust what we decide, I guess, as long as we can help save people.
Yep, that's I think that decision will lead to the most people saved.
I think it's also, I mean, yeah, like, kind of like what you were saying, you're gonna say. I think it's beneficial to remind her, like, she wants us on her side.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, not
You've
just
already-
that we can stop her, but it's because like people, because of us, people are already like onto her.
Yeah,
And so if she wants this done faster and she wants it done correctly, she wants us to no longer be an obstacle. She needs to work with us. And yeah, I mean, you got
pretty
it.
much.
I trust
We're kind of leveraging power over her as well.
Yeah.
Which is why this is probably such a logic puzzle for her, because I think
Yeah.
she's aware that we can just continue being a thorn in her side if she's not careful. So she has to really fucking maneuver.
I trust you. So I think we'll just there's no right answer anymore.
Yeah. It's just most convenient for, I think, both of us if we somehow form an agreement, a ceasefire, something that gets innocents out of the trade, something that allows people to live their lives. That means no more spending on trying to get us killed, and we don't have to worry about what's Silverwind up to, because we know.
So it's a deal.
I want to see what she says.
So it's
after
the people.
Riley's have said all this.
It's the people. That's the issue.
Pretty much always has been, yeah. You know, people get kidnapped, they get torn from their families. From the very first bust we did back in Imus, that was what it was all about. A priest's daughter went missing, so we went to go get her. That's how this all started.
Make a persuasion check.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
She sort of sits back in the chair, just straight backed, very prim, very proper, and just eventually leans to one side, just arm resting on one side of the chair, just leaning her head against it. The, let's say, noble houses of Hara pay well for new slaves every so often. There's a few families where that is their whole business is, let's call it, raising slaves. Those that have been marked by, well, times past as a lower echelon of society. Somewhat new, faster methods. That's where I come in. They pay well. That's why I do it. If I agree to stop using these people as a means of transport and as a product, that's it. The end of our grievances, huh?
Pretty much.
Well, in that case, the Thunderhead project won't be completed. At least not while I'm alive. Again, they pay well, and resources cost money. So, if you find me a suitable alternative, something that'll generate a constant gold flow to fill the gap, then we have a deal.
Guys, I got it. We rent out the dragon as an Airbnb. That's the solution. That's been the solution the whole time.
Dragon tourism.
Dragon Airbnb. That's it.
Oh yeah, we're taking Jeff Bezos to space, baby.
A fishing corporation.
How much money do you need and how often?
Per year, that'll be a net profit about 100,000 gold.
Well, who's ready to go slay every dragon on the continent?
I was about to say. Does anyone know the nearest dragon from here?
The Selenic Ridge.
That's the easiest way to do it. 100,000 gold per year. Well, I got about a quarter of the way there alone last year.
Are you willing to come work for me then?
That's so tough.
What all needs to be done to complete Project Thunderhead?
Is it just the Arcanium? Is that what the cost comes in?
As far as we can tell, Arcanium is the fuel source, and it needs a lot of it. Not only that, Arcanium can be used for other purposes, from what I've been told. Creating and crafting different magical materials, which are also needed for construction. The city is built on a foundation of Arcanite, which is metal ore infused with Arcanium for a long time. That also costs money. That is a little rarer, at least in a pure form. All of this costs money. If I stop the trafficking trade, that's a lot of money lost that I won't be able to spend on the project.
What is the bulk of what you ended up spending all this money on?
The total amount spent?
No, what is the bulk of your expenses? What is taking up the most of that money? What do you need the most? Is it the Arcanium?
Arcanium in bulk quantity, but Arcanite's the most expensive.
I don't
They
even know what
both
Arcanite
take-
is.
We both take a chunk.
Do you know where it's coming from?
Cowbay seems to be the biggest source of Arcanite. They use it for weapons. I have better uses for it. Arcanium, that's from, well, all over. It's a little harder to source, at least in large quantities. I have that army of roving goblins to raid any Arcanite or Arcanium shipments they can find.
Those are yours.
Well, no. We made a deal. As we're making a deal now. I have a few sky pirates doing the same thing with merchant vessels in the air.
I did read about that in a ledger. I'm gonna like shake Chris and be like, "Hey, Mr. Scary Man, is that source of Arcanium in your fucking jail dungeon infinite?"
I just smile.
Chris, did you notice that it was some sort of self-replenishing, or do you think it's finite down there?
I'm not sure. I just took a drink.
I think if she can just tell us how much she needs and of what, I think we can just go get it for her. I hate calling that working for her, but it's more like, yeah, we're building something together.
And remember, because the invasion is inevitable, having a super weapon like that, regardless of whose hands it's in, as long as it's pointed at the right target, it really doesn't matter who's manning it.
I think we should. I think that should be a part of as out of character. I think that should be a part of some kind of agreement that we make. Is that although this is her city, it's our weapon.
She's not gonna like that. She won't agree to that.
Why the fuck does she need a weapon?
I don't know. Exercise some sort of fucking deterrent.
She
I mean,
wants control.
Right, that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. So we don't like at the end of the day, I don't want to make any agreement where that's hers too. That's what I meant when I said when all this is over, she's going to be more powerful than us. we're not going to be able to take it away anymore if she decides, okay, well, actually, I want to do the bad shit again.
Well, hold on. Think about it. She's a human at the, borderline at the end of her life. Probably another 20 years maximum. And I've got another 400 years.
Okay, so just pass the torch to somebody else.
Right. But what if that was me?
What's your point?
What does it matter when she's gone? She's not going to be around.
I don't
What,
care
you
about
think-
when she's. I don't care about when she's gone. I'm saying what she does with the weapon while she's alive.
Hmm.
I'm willing to be persuaded to make a deal with her because I do like the idea of these people not getting kidnapped and trafficked anymore. In the fine print of the agreement, I would like to also figure out the information of the families that take part in this trade in Ara, whatever. But I think a big term of this agreement should be that she doesn't get to use the weapon. If she wants to be a leader of a city, I don't care. If she wants to run some kind of drug trade out of there, I still don't care. But if she wants a weapon of that size, what else do you use a weapon for? Like,
Yeah, it's either there as a deterrent or you're actively bombarding.
right. So even if we make a deal with her now, she may be a bigger problem for us in the future.
Well, would you rather deal with endless waves of gravekeepers?
Oh, I mean,
Hit jobs out for us?
I think you should suggest.
But we
If you're
already
willing
did
to.
suggest that. We already
Did-
did suggest that, and we failed.
That she
Either-
doesn't get the weapon?
Yeah, she was like, whatever's on that city is mine. You don't get to tell me how to use it. She was very stern.
Either way, there will be chaos.
I don't feel like that's an unreasonable deal to make either. We help you to see the city to fruition, and in return, you allow us to control the weapon that you should not need. Maybe we can even help provide some kind of means of keeping her safe up there. Like if she's really worried about other countries coming for her and her new shiny toy, we can help with that too. She doesn't need a huge weapon to do that. But I mean, like she knows that was what I'm saying though. I mean, like I think that should be a part of the conversation of just like either we help you see it to fruition, or you don't see it at all. It doesn't mean we're going to control her city. It's just that part is not hers.
Well, you can go ahead and suggest that. Riley already did, and he failed.
I guess I'll ask that in character. What do you need the weapon for? What do you need the weapon for?
She points to your daggers. What do you need that for? Tell me.
It's not the same.
It is. Protect yourself from bandits, to assassinate somebody, to just to defend yourself generally. What are all weapons used for?
Fishing?
My weapon can stab a man for trying to mug me. Your weapon can wipe out a continent.
True.
Destruction.
What do you need that for?
There are enemies I have. That's really don't need to breathe air anymore. I don't know if it's a weapon even. All I know is it flies. It could be a weapon, it could not. If the city's a weapon itself, then I have a weapon. It's powerful. I know that much. We're
Who
still
are
not
you?
sure of who or what made it to begin with And for what? Well, seemingly
just-
you have some insight on it, but I don't know if I can trust you. Even then,
Who,
the constructions, we still don't entirely know what they do.
who are your enemies?
Well, aside from us.
I don't think I need to tell you that unless you're planning to take care of them for me.
Well, if the Arbiter is one of them, we don't like him.
So, are you willing to kill him? Cold-blooded.
Let's see. Turns to 0. Is he really an asset against the enemy? I mean, his whole thing is letting people die to begin with, so how many people do we save by nixing him?
I'm not doing that.
No? Alright, pipe dream for me, I suppose.
I feel like we can come to an agreement of you can have your city, you can do whatever you want with it. I don't care. You can run drugs out of there. I don't care. As long as there's not people being trafficked. That's one of our main goals, sure. But at the end of the day, us stopping this enemy, it's going to be a problem for you too. Even with your weapon, what if you never figure out how to use it? What if they know how to use it better than you do? I'm not underestimating you, but I think this enemy is bigger than all of us. And I think what you need the weapon for, we can provide that service. What we need the weapon for, nobody can help us with that.
No.
And so I'm only suggesting if we work with you in helping you to reach this goal, the rest of the city's yours, but the weapon's ours. And in that same vein, if you and your city are threatened, we will use the necessary power to stop those threats.
Make a persuasion check.
Ain't no way. The double 20! It was destined, bro!
I don't know how that happens.
Holy shit!
Right after your nat 22, that's crazy.
Today the dice said yes!
This is... Remember when she succeeded on your detect thoughts?
Yeah.
This was also a natural 20.
Mm-hmm.
So that means it is 3 natural 20s in a row for on my screen.
Wait, whose 20 cancels out then? Is it if the enemy nat 20s?
No, this was from a while ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But like I was rolling against Zero's detect thoughts like an
Okay.
hour ago, and
That's
that
what
was
it
a
was.
natural 20. Yeah, so I was like,
Okay.
what happens when it succeeds? I don't remember. But 2 natural 20s in a row. One of them technically applies, but that is the other one is staring me directly in the face. He begins to lean forward again. So all you need is to fire the weapon once.
Well, that much we don't know. When the enemy is dealt with, though, we will have no need of the weapon.
As long as the threat remains, this particular threat, we will need the weapon, yes.
If the Thunderhead gets up and running, and I'm aboard, running a city in the sky for the unscrupulous sorts. Assuming there is a weapon on it to begin with. I can fire it once at where you want it to go. After that, well, a weapon of that size, assuming you want me to shoot at the moon, I doubt it'll be good for the rest of the planet. So, I don't know if I like the agreement of joint ownership, but I can at least say with some modicum of faith that I probably won't fire it back at the ground. That's bad for business.
See, she is smart.
I'm just gonna cast message to Riley, and I'm just gonna say I think that's all I can really ask for.
Yeah, I'm done with those terms.
So, just to clarify, I stop the trafficking of people, effective immediately, but you have to find me a replacement for the lost funds.
Somewhere to the
And-
tune of 100,000 gold, you said.
A year, minimum.
Hold on. How much longer do you think it's going to take to build this city, then? Do we
We've
even
been
have that
going
much
on-
time?
We've been going for 5 years, a little bit over.
How much progress have you made?
It was already nearly done when we found it. It's still only nearly done, as far as I'm aware. We have very vague plans, and the rest is just being thought out by those that are more equipped to think about these problems than I. Well,
Wow.
if you are helping us, maybe you could be sped along.
I guess the next problem is figuring out how we get 100k gold a year. Or if
I
we even
feel
need
like-
that much to begin with.
I feel like whatever she needs to spend that gold on, other than man labor, like whatever supplies it is, we can just get that for her. We can cut the cost down of this entirely.
So,
If you can get me large quantities of Arcanium and Arcanite. Those two are the main costs. The harder to find materials.
Calby.
Kali would be the source of Arcanite. That's my source, though it's slow going. Only the Bronze Legion are willing to trade, and that's only in small quantities. Smuggled out, more like.
I think some of the vehicles Silnia uses has Arcanite.
so
The conduits are made of Arcanite. That's what the Sky Pirates are harvesting from ships, as well as the fuel.
now, there's no
things
way
in-
we go about this that doesn't disrupt air travel either. Well, at this point, we're also at a sunken cost fallacy.
I think if we were the ones to physically go collect these materials on a regular basis, I think that would cut the cost that she needs. As for the rest of the money, we'll get the money. As for the money you need, we can start with those families that you work with.
That wasn't part of the deal.
You need money, right?
What, are you going to pillage the houses? Murder them in their sleep, take their gold?
Is that what you think we do?
Yes?
Our count is surprisingly low. Kind of need people alive for the whole enemy thing.
I feel like people with a lot of money, human trafficking, if I took their money away, I don't think they'd be able to, traffic people anymore. So I think that's two birds with one stone. You get your fortune. That vein of income from them is eliminated and hopefully shut
People
down
are saved
altogether.
in the process.
Why do you care if they lose their fortune? You're gonna get your little island.
I don't. If they die, if they slip on a banana peel tomorrow and crack their neck on the ground, I don't really care. I do care about, let's call it reputation. They've been paying customers. And I'd be lying if I didn't feel a little guilt if I just sold them out. Besides, maybe I'll need their services in the future. It's nice to have allies in different countries.
I'm sorry, you feel sorry for the people that are trafficking humans and kids and different races and children?
Not sorry.
Guilt.
Poor choice of words.
It's kind of a I scratch your back, you scratch mine deal, huh?
That's it.
What are you gonna need them in the future for? And why would they have to know that we're working with you? Well, how do you know we want anyone knowing that we're working with you? We're not the only ones to know about what you're doing.
Maybe persuasion check.
I'm not gonna get a third nat 20, it's not gonna happen.
That's
It
still
was
pretty
fucking
high.
close. It was almost.
She begins to just look up at the ceiling almost, and just like almost enters like a daydream sort of stance.
Her brain
She's like-
is blasting right now.
Yeah, pretty much. Her cranium expands like 4 times the size of a normal human being. It's crazy. She sort of sits back again. Well, if it'll help fund the project. There's a few noble houses in Haura. Don't take too long. I would qualify that as the distraction from the main problem of building the city. I'll have a list eventually. It's a long list. I have ways to contact you, I think.
What will your alliance with us do to your working relationship with the Ruxtons? Because I'm sure you know by now, they are not a fan of us.
We didn't even do anything to them.
Yeah. Unless that was you.
Make a persuasion check. What the fuck's going on, man? What is going on?
Carola.
It's the lettuce knife. The lettuce knife brings me luck.
It is the lettuce knife.
the,
birthday.
the blessing of the lettuce knife.
Have you rubbed in the lettuce knife tonight for good luck?
The lettuce knife is on my side.
The power
Oh.
of God and the lettuce knife.
Nazriel came down from heaven with a flaming lettuce knife.
And he said, "Let us have success."
Get out. Get out. That was too far. I draw the line at lettuce pun.
Alright, let us continue. Mr. Colby sort of just scoffs a little bit. If I had my choice, I wouldn't have anything to do with them. They have an uneasy partnership with me. I use their services, the undermarket, mainly, and a few favors here and there, and I scratch their back, they scratch mine, as is so eloquently put from before. That being said, they've been, let's say, slowly twisting the knife recently because of, well, let's say, unnamed culprits. She sort of just eyes all of you. They think I'm becoming an easy mark. So, what would happen to my working relationship once the Thunderhead project is afloat? Well, honestly, I'd probably use it to wipe them off the map. That being said, I believe we have the agreement in hand, though I'm willing to pay personally for a personal grievance of mine.
Who?
Bella Rexon.
Didn't? Oh, well, hold on.
Who are we? Who are we? Yeah.
Not in character.
Oh,
Not in character.
Bella.
Not in character. No. Shut.
going,
Shut.
keep
Shut. 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 Riley actively covers his mouth. Interesting. Bella.
She has been digging her way into my affairs recently. She knows about the Thunderhead project. I don't like that. And I think you'll agree, maybe that doesn't sit well with you either.
She a scorned lover? What's going on there?
No. And frankly, I think I'm a little offended to insinuate such a thing. We are the uneasy business partners. And she's been slowly trying to, let's say, acquisition my own assets. She's been twisting the knife, slowly stepping forward inch by inch, saying it's her territories when it's mine. Recently, I had a year-long business deal with her, speaking about all sorts of minor disputes and agreements and thinly veiled threats. And she's made it aware to me that she knows of the Thunderhead project. I don't like her knowing about the project. She is, unlike her brothers, the most scheming. In a way, I have a begrudging respect for that. She's not direct like Horace or cool-headed like Warren. No, she'll pretend to be nice, and then when you're looking the other way, she will very quickly, swiftly, and without mercy slice your throat.
That lines up with what we've heard about her as well.
So, I don't think she'll be able to do anything once it's up and running, but if it's on the ground, I have a fear that her agents may be trying to sniff it out, maybe take it for herself, and unlike you, she does have the resources to continue it.
She just call us poor.
Yes. Poor and without friends.
Yes, we are the help, but we are happy. Or at least we'll be once this is all over.
If you're willing to take a detour, I wouldn't mind if, well, let's say Bella disappeared from the picture entirely.
The Xodiacs taking a detour? That's unheard of.
Bonus points for the entire Rexon family, though Bella is the main problem in my mind.
Turns to Zero. Do we have any objections with this? I mean, the Rexons are kind of after us anyway. This seems like another two birds, one stone.
As well as the fact that I'm pretty sure they're in, if not the same exact business as her, something similar. They're not.
mean-
good, they're not good people.
No, they're not.
I have no objections.
Yeah, it could make some things interesting.
Round 2 in Lipat, more Hellfire.
I wanted to go back anyway.
Can I be unleashed?
Well, we need to figure out if she's even in Lipat first.
Now that our party is in our like anti-hero era, then yes, we can finally go enjoy that fucking what was it, like a hotel, that resort.
Oh yeah, we could get in there and start snooping around and figure out stuff from there. Well, I don't know. They might recognize us. We got espionage tools. We can probably just find her.
So, are we on agreement then?
The Rexons, the Howran families, whatever other sources we can come up with. I mean, considering we're getting rid of a great tragedy on the world stage, both with the slave trade and with the enemy that is to come. He'll actively sigh. I think this is best case scenario.
I want another vacation already.
She sort of stands up and walks around her desk and just sort of holds out a hand.
I guess if nobody else goes for it, I will.
Yeah, you take her hand, shake it. With agreements like these, I don't think written proof is necessary. I was wondering what paragon's virtue you would end up being, and here we are. You're shaking hands with mine, blood-soaked as it is, and I have turned you into contract killers.
Ironically, given what happened with the last contract killers, the hunters have become the hunted. And vice versa, or whatever.
She circles back to her desk, sits down. I like to think of it supply and demand. I have supply that met your demand. As she sort of clicks a button somewhere on her desk, you just hear the audible click, the pop, as the very heavy metallic doors swing open behind you. As she sort of just sits there staring at you.
Yep. Let's go get on that demand, I suppose.
As you all exit, the guards are very weirded out by your presence. They did not see you come in. There's one guard in the hallway that immediately goes to stop you, but then you hear Liz Ricaldi's voice. Let them through.
Before I leave the office, I will pull out the necklace I just stole from her, and I will just kind of place it back on her desk and just say, as an act of good faith, just put it back and leave.
For the first time in pretty much this whole conversation, you see genuine annoyance. She doesn't say anything, but she sort of just looks at the necklace, the anti-scrying amulet, looks back up you. You see her just slowly, very subtly, just grinding her teeth.
This is fine.
Yeah, as you all turn to exit, the guards, confused, but let you go. As you exit through the front door, the sun has just begun to rise over the buildings. Very undecorated, very boring, rectangular, utilitarian buildings. And the sun, despite it being somewhat clouded with the haze, hasn't gone over to the clouds just yet. It is just peeking barely under them. Yeah, the rest of the day is yours after having made somewhat of a deal with, I won't say the arch nemesis of the early campaign, but now that stakes and priorities have changed. A deal with the devil. And that is where we'll stop from there.
Yeah.
Can that be the name of the session?
The gang makes a deal with the devil, yeah.
What if she actually is a devil?
Should have popped... Actually, wouldn't... Yeah, Janet could have popped, like, primeval awareness or something, right?
That's true. This won't be the last time we see her. So.
No. I can't believe it's the first time!
Say.
We could literally level this entire fucking city, and we're out here like, yeah, let's be calm, let's think this through.
With great power comes great responsibility.
It was the whole time I was just thinking political destabilization.
Oh yeah, no matter what the fuck happens, actions and consequences. Campaign 2 is going to be very interesting.
Because
chances are there's going to be a fucking, like, city in the sky.
There's gonna be a fucking a hole in the planet where a continent used to be. She got mad.
Well, I was thinking, like, what if we told the commission this, or what if we told the faceless, or what if we told Jornhat? What if we told everyone about it, and then at the end, it's just everyone coming together, fighting for it. Just one big war.
Oh, they would. They absolutely would.
Well, yeah, that's what we're trying to avoid. Well, I know Chris isn't trying to avoid that. He would relish it.
It's just like,
but I'm like,
me out. What if we killed everybody right now?
Do we need a continental war when there's already a fucking threat to the whole realm, like, looming on the side? You basically guarantee we lose that.
What if we leveled the continent before the aliens did?
You can't kill me, only I can kill me!
There's some good RP there. 5k EXP for everybody.
Dude, my heart was beating out of my chest for like half the session. It's amazing how like much more I care about this than I do my own fucking life.